Reaction from the players and head coach Tommy Lloyd. Plus, your thoughts on what you saw. The postgame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed. Life well lived. This is your home for Arizona basketball. Wildcats Radio 1290.
The KJ Lewis knocked away and stolen by Kansas State. A run out the other way. Slam it home for Ike Garuke. And a foul. And with 1:39 to go, Kansas State may have a stranglehold on this one.
Ike Garuke. We couldn't say his name in the pregame show. So, of course, he would come back and make the biggest play of the game. Modi. Let's call him Modi. 2 points tonight. Kansas State upsets number 13 Arizona 73-70. You just heard our intro there. It sounded like the game I just watched actually was a horror movie. So I guess that intro kind of fits because it sounds like a horror movie going on there. Yeah.
Yeah, can we get a refund?
Get a refund. I don't think we had to pay. I'm glad we didn't have to pay to go to that
time.
thing.
I want the last 3 hours of my life back.
Yeah.
Is what I want.
Yeah, that was ugly. Ugly. Like 3 for 42 combined. Shooting 3-pointers. And the Wildcats just I mean, it was evident in the first half. It was just like, why? We're just going to take 3-point shots tonight. And that was going to be the way they were going to try to win this game. And when you're not making them, that's what happens. You get into these situations where the teams that aren't that good, and again, credit to Kansas State. They've won now 6 games in a row, but Arizona clearly the more talented team. Now, Kansas State had the better point guard tonight. No question about that. Doug McDaniel was just excellent. Took over the game and did so by taking the ball to the basket. I mean, that move that he put on Henry Vesar down the stretch was just absolute artistry with the basketball. He finished with a game-high 24 points. And the Wildcats will come home a game behind the Houston Cougars with the big meeting coming up on Saturday, which will still be, again, for first place in the Big 12 Conference. So a loss, yes, unfortunately. It stings, it hurts, but you can still be in first place by the end of the day on Saturday. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. My name is David Kelly, joined by the captain, Kelvin Ifan, J.W. Madden here as well. Okay, so Kelvin, J.W. wants his money back. How about you?
Man,
time back. I want my time back.
Your time back. He wants his 3 hours back.
To me, it was just one of those old fist fights, and I don't mind a fist fight. I mean, and they slug it out, and you hope that Caleb Love could play a little bit better, because if Caleb Love plays a little bit better offensively, we win this game.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Caleb Love, the first one who's going to look in the mirror and accept that and say that to himself. Of course, we could have used Del Orso a little bit more there, but he didn't get a lot of minutes. But I think it came down to offense, man. I think we played good enough defense to win this game.
Now, I'll have to go back and watch the tape, but Delly was aggressive in the first half. I'm not sure why he didn't get more time.
They was running through him faster than a hot knife through butter. Now, you seen it, J-Dub. They was going straight at him. That's how I thought Doug got going.
Yeah. The reason I want my time back is, missing shots happens. Both teams shot terribly. That's going to happen. The problem I have is there was at least half the turnovers were just of the throw the ball to the other team variety. There were some very unnecessary turnovers, especially in that first half. But my biggest problem with this game, guys, is when you play a team full of James Hardens, it's really easy to regress to that blacktop play style where my guy just went one-on-one and scored on me, Kelvin. I'm going to go one-on-one and score on him back and show him I could do it too. And there was far too much of that. When you saw Carter Bryant slash through the lane and get a pass from penetration, that was a dunk. But the vast majority of shots they got in the paint were just off dribble, over the top of a defender. I don't know if Caleb Love's ever made a floater, personally, because it doesn't seem like any of them have been going down. We talked about this 2 months ago, Kelvin. 2-foot jump stop, 10-foot jump shot, that's money. But the floater game is just not working for him right now. I just was a little bit disappointed. Number one, Bug won this game. Kansas State made the timely plays down the stretch. All credit due to them and their coaching staff for really making game-winning plays down the stretch. And my biggest takeaway was, if there was a game that Arizona will look back on the schedule and think, if only we could have played a little better, correctable mistakes on their behalf. The passing was really loose. K-State got in a couple of good strips. K-State, don't get me wrong, a couple of those turnovers for Arizona were steals on K-State's behalf, or getting in the passing lane, trying to feed the post or whatever. But a lot more were just of the boneheaded variety. And to me, it was the ISO Harden one-on-one type stuff. I don't think Arizona wins most of their games if they regress to that style of trying to beat your own man. Team ball under Coach Lloyd is really what gets it done. A little bit too much one-on-one for me tonight.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. We'll take your thoughts on what you saw tonight from the Wildcats, 73-70. A lot in store for you on this edition of Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. We will review our keys to the game, what we thought the Wildcats needed to do to win tonight in Manhattan. We'll hand out our Window Depot glass cleaner of the game. Maybe somebody on the other team might just get that tonight. Maybe not. We'll see how we want to flow with that. And also our best bets. That's not looking real good for anybody as well. So we'll take your calls, your thoughts, text them in. You can also interact with the program on our app. Download our app. There's 3 ways you can do it. There's 3 buttons on the front page of our app. You can send us a text message through the app. You can send us an audio message if you want to just vent into your phone. And then you can send us that by way of video. We'll put your video up on our social media platforms and let everybody hear what you have to say. However you want to vent tonight after a 73-70 loss on the road to the Kansas State Wildcats. The Purple Cats tonight are greater than the Red Cats. Much more straight ahead. Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day on Wildcats Radio 1290. Our Window Depot post-game coverage of Arizona basketball is just getting started. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. The post-game show is brought to you by Dave & Buster's Tucson, Desert Diamond Casinos, Dorado Rock, First Chiropractic, Goodfellas AC, Humane Society of Southern Arizona, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating and Plumbing, Restaurant Supply Store, Royal GMC Buick and Cadillac, Royal Kia, Royal Jaguar Land Rover, the Poston Results Team with Keller Williams, Southern Arizona, the Window Depot, and by Meridian Wealth Management, wealth well managed, life well lived.
Your home for everything Arizona Wildcats. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290, KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Now that winter is really here, cooler overnight temperatures mean that your tire pressure warning light could be on. In most cases, you solve the problem by simply adding the correct amount of air to your tires. As always, you can stop by any of our 14-area Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care locations for a free tire inspection and air pressure check. And if you need help with that low pressure warning light, we fix those too. Check out jackfurriers.com. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care since 1960, here to get you there.
Broadway in Tucson presents the new 2024-2025 season, featuring 6 blockbuster productions, including Mamma Mia and the Southern Arizona premieres of Clue, live on stage, Beetlejuice, Some Like It Hot, the Neil Diamond Musical, A Beautiful Noise, and Shucked. Secure your signature season tickets today and get the best seats at the best prices. Visit BroadwayInTucson.com and secure your 2024-2025 season tickets today.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Kia, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Kia, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus or royalkia.com.
Do you trust those in charge of your financial future? Trust is founded on 3 core principles: competence, honesty, and benevolence. Those making decisions about your financial future should always place your best interest ahead of their own. I'm Natalie Fernandez-Lee, and at Meridian Wealth Management, fostering trusted relationships with our clients is our top priority. Call us at 719-1433 or visit meridianwealthllc.com to learn more today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
All right, she's inside. Are you good?
Yeah. It's just, she's my baby girl, you know?
I do, and ceramic coating was a good choice.
She's beautiful.
Yep, I know.
Recon Auto Detailing. Enhance or restore your baby to her former glory with paint recondition, ceramic coating, paint protection, tinting, and more for full protection of your vehicle inside and out. New cars, old cars, we love them all. Recon Auto Detailing, 3829 North Oracle Road, Tucson. ReconDetail.com.
At University Termite and Pest Control, we handle all your pest problems. Maybe a few family ones, too.
Wait, you can even take care of my in-laws?
I always tell people we'll take care of anything, even in-laws. You just have to dig the hole.
Okay, but seriously, is it okay for our pets?
Absolutely. It's okay for pets, kids, anything you want to live, will live.
Call us today at University Termite and Pest Control. We'll squash those pests and enjoy it.
If you're feeling overwhelmed by the thought of a home remodel, don't stress. The Window Depot is here to help. At the Window Depot, we're your one-stop warehouse for everything you need for your next remodel. Windows? Check. Doors? Got it. Cabinets, countertops, and everything in between? You'll find it all here at the lowest prices. Whether it's a kitchen, bathroom, or whole home makeover, our experienced designers are ready to bring your dream home to life, all at unbeatable prices. Find a location near you or shop online at thewindowdepot.com. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
I love my weekend rides across Arizona. I travel with all the protection I need. Helmet, gloves, leathers, and the Eagle. Goldberg and Osborne. The Eagle fights hard to help injured riders across the state. Whether we're cruising through Carefree, slow riding in Sedona, or breezing through Bisbee, they find you doctors, manage medical bills, and get you back on your bike with the most money possible. Injured riding? The bird is the word. Visit Goldberg and Osborne at 1-800-THEEAGLE.com.
A Window Depot coverage of the Wildcats rolls on. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day postgame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
Crossover, driving right, Love dishing right. And underneath, Carter Bryant will slam it home.
Beautiful driving drop there by Love. He needs to be aggressive. He gets a lot of attention. Beautiful pass for Carter for the two-handed flush.
Carter Bryant finished the game with 8 points, 3 of 9 shooting, but 1 of 6 from 3. He was one of the Wildcats that took 6 or more three-point shots. He and Caleb Love. Bryant took 6, Love took 7. They combined to make 1. Wildcats 2 for 22 from behind the arc. Bryant did grab 11 rebounds and had 1 assist. I think that, well, again, for Carter, what stood out to me was just him cutting to the basket to get, I believe it was at least 2 of he made 3 shots. So 2 of the field goals that he made, there wasn't, the other one was a 3, but the two-point shots he made were nice, real nice cuts to the basket.
Yeah, yes, it was. And, the guys had their head up looking for the cuts. I just thought we needed a few more of those.
Yeah.
Kansas State was playing aggressive defense, really up. I thought they was doing a great job again playing man-to-man. That's why our guys were trying to create shots, DK. They were playing straight man-to-man. They wasn't going to help off of anybody. They was going to force us to beat them one-on-one because, you know what, you really think about it, it's a good strategy because we don't necessarily play a one-on-one style of play, and we really don't have a real true one-on-one player besides Caleb Love when he's going. Of course, KJ Lewis can. They'll also show some abilities, and Jaden Bradley, of course, can score, as he take it to the rim when his assist game is going. But I just felt like they forced it into a one-on-one game by playing man-to-man.
Career high 11 rebounds, by the way.
Career high. Is he the Window Depot glass cleaner of the game, or is there somebody?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
J-Dub, any disagreements on that?
Even though KJ Lewis.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think Carter was very impactful defensively, really good on the boards. He was fighting Owaka, especially in that first 5 minutes. You see that?
Yeah.
I think there were 3 different plays where both of those guys had their hands on the ball, and Carter Bryant didn't want to let go. Let the big man have those ones, right, Kelvin? I mean, Owaka's there. I mean, you love the effort and energy, but yeah, clearly, I mean, with the stats, I love that face block where the guy beat him around the side.
Yeah,
He
that
just
was
stood
nice.
him right up. Oof, that was so pretty. He had a couple of jittery moments, had a couple of bad passes as well. But yeah, I mean, overall, I think on the road, getting the start, I think Carter Bryant played quite well. You wish the whole team, both teams, would have shot more than 5% from the three-point line. You can't place that at Carter Bryant's feet. I will say 2 of the shots he regathered, Kelvin. He caught, the defender was off a little bit, shuffled his feet, took a pivot, didn't get down in a three-point or anything. He just was straight up, and then he decided to launch it after. And I think Carter is much better suited to catch in rhythm, bend your knees, and just go straight up with that shot. That secondary hitch, I don't think he's made many of those. Like Vesar did last week, right? The last game out, where he caught, stepped back, and made the shot. I think Carter right now, his rhythm jumpers are super pretty, but those 2 he took might have been a little bit rushed. There's about 10, 15 on the shot clock on those possessions. But overall, I think Carter played a great game.
And the 11 rebounds. Now, I think, was it 2 games ago that he had
10 versus ASU 3 games ago. Yeah, that was his
5 minutes.
That was his second. He's only had 2 10 or more rebound games, those 2 this season.
So Carter Bryant is your Window Depot glass cleaner of the game. Window Depot, lowest prices, biggest inventory. Shop thewindowdepot.com. 73-70, Kansas State knocks off Arizona. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. And in terms of KJ Lewis, I think it's 15 points, obviously, 8 rebounds in the ball game. He had 2 assists. He did turn it over 3 times. And I think I'm at the point where that I was with him, where I was a few weeks ago with Caleb Love. And at this point, I'm willing to live with the fact that he's going to occasionally just make a mind-numbing turnover because of everything else that he offers.
The only one that was terrible was the jump pass where he got caught up in the air on the sideline and tried to throw the ball back towards the inside and actually led to a fast break point for them. So live ball turnovers where you're throwing the ball. Rule number 1, junior high school, you're taught, if you ever jump out of bounds and try to throw the ball back in, don't throw it towards your opponent's basket.
Right.
You're basically starting the fast break. But yeah, I mean, I think I don't know what's up with his wrist, right? He seemed to really be favoring it quite a bit, especially when he was at the free throw line. That could have some effect on the passes, but he's a good decision maker. Sometimes Kelvin gets in a situation like that. He doesn't come to a complete jump stop. He gets caught in the air on a pass, like those kind of correctable mistakes. And I just think with more time, he hasn't really been as much of a ball handler like he was in high school here with the U of A. And now, with some of the injuries and whatnot and the rotations and him being the guy off that bench to really kind of we know Jaden Bradley's going to play 39 minutes. So it's not as if he's on the court, but KJ's had a lot more ball handling responsibilities in the last 10 games, I would say. I think overall KJ, without that little stretch there in the second half where he single-handedly stole the ball, he was the one that hit the 3. He brought them back into that game. You just wish you could clean up a couple of those turnovers.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Arizona loses to Kansas State by a score of 73-70. Much more still straight ahead. We'll review our keys to the game as well as our best bets. We will hopefully have some post-game for you from Manhattan, Kansas. Tommy Lloyd and the players after just their second loss in Big 12 conference play. Both of those losses now coming away from home. Along with Kelvin Ifan and J.W. Madden, I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. 6 model homes are now open to tour at Del Webb at Rockin' K. Here, life is about more than just beautiful homes. It's about the experiences waiting outside your front door at this new 55-plus active adult neighborhood. LiveRockingK.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
Are you having sewer and drain issues?
Pixrox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing is the name to know when your drains don't flow. We do the dirty jobs so you can focus on yours. Leave the drain pain to the experts. Call Pixrox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing at 520-492-0748 or pixroxcooling.com.
You know it. Your neighbors know it. And let's face it, the mailman knows it too. Your yard just isn't what it used to be. But thankfully, Dorado Rock Materials can get you, well, your yard anyway, back to what it once was. And even better, Dorado Rock Materials has just what your yard needs, from decorative rock to boulders and everything in between, brought right to you. And if you need help spreading it, we can help with that too. Dorado Rock Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price.
Looking for unlimited gameplay all season long? Dave & Buster's is introducing the all-new Winter Season Pass. You can pick your perfect pass and play like a Dave & Buster's VIP with unlimited access to over 140 games and deals on sips and bites. Sign up now and take advantage of this incredible deal now through February 28th. Don't forget to stop in Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for lunch specials and grab the all-new Winter Season Pass. There's nowhere better to eat, drink, play, and watch than Dave & Buster's, the best place outside the stadium to see the games this football season.
Don't hold back. Just dive right in. This is Desert Diamond. The round-the-clock, off-the-charts, over-the-top spectacle that puts a shine on any day, anytime. The tables are hot to the touch. The slots are spinning winners every day. And the point spreads are yours for the taking. So go ahead. Live the Diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino. Visit ddcaz.com.
An enterprise of the Donna Ogden Nation.
Hey, man. It's me, your furnace, man. Hey, can I get a light here, man? I know we live in Arizona, so I understand I'm not, like as cool as your air conditioner. But I still need a tune-up at least once a year, man. So get the best in town, man. Goodfellas AC, bro. Hey, anybody smell that, man? I swear it wasn't me. Okay, it was me.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
Driving the lane, dunking on the competition, and playing as a team. These are things we'll see this season watching our Wildcats play basketball. These happen to be the things you'll also find when you buy your next vehicle from O'Reilly Chevrolet. The only difference is at O'Reilly, nobody gets penalized for traveling. Heck, we actually encourage it. See us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or find new roads at O'Reilly.com, where you can experience our version of a steal. O'Reilly Chevrolet, more than a great price.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Did you know collecting sports cards is one of the fastest growing hobbies around? Whether you're looking to start or expand your collection, Showtime Cards is your ultimate destination. As one of the leading card shops in the country, they've been serving our community for over 25 years with the best in sports cards and trading card games. From rare finds to the latest releases, Showtime Cards has it all. Check them out at ShowtimeCards.com or visit them today at 5801 East Speedway. And discover why collectors everywhere trust Showtime Cards for their passion.
A Window Depot coverage of the Wildcats rolls on. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day postgame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain, Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
Caleb matched up on Gasson. Cross court over to KJ Lewis. Drive to the free throw line. Backdoor cut for Del Orso, and he'll put it down for two more.
Del Orso with the two-handed slam there, but beautiful baseline cut off the KJ Lewis drive and drop. And so that's what Arizona needs to do. Continue to penetrate and break down this Kansas State defense.
Yeah, Anthony was aggressive in the first half, boy. 3 of 5 shooting, 6 points in the ball game, but played just 15 minutes, as the fellas said earlier, because he just was not maybe up to the task on the defensive end of the
I think I heard
floor.
Brian and Reggie say he played 2 minutes in the second half, something like that.
2 minutes, yep, not very many at all. Did not make a 3-point shot, so that, again, only took one. But that has not been, again, a part of his game over the course of maybe now the last 4 games, where he just has not been able to find open threes to take. But, again, tries to stay aggressive. Got himself a dunk tonight on a nice feed there early in the first half, but just not enough minutes to go around for him tonight. They have 4 guys play over 30 minutes And so the fact, obviously, that he got less minutes meant more minutes for KJ Lewis, who played 30 tonight, as well as Henry Vasar, who also played 30 minutes tonight. Henry Vasar finishing with 12 points and 7 rebounds. So let's talk about the end of the game, because I'm not sure what they were trying to accomplish on that last really play attempt. Not the final play, but the play before the final play, when they were down 3 with a chance to tie the game, and they tried to throw the ball and it went to half court. It was like a half-hearted pass to half court. I'm not sure what that was.
It was
all
basically
about.
the same setup they had for the Caleb play. If you listen to what they said, that play was designed for Vasar, a tall guy who has range, and so that half court pass was just underthrown, and they were targeting Vasar. Vasar was just behind that steal. The one that should have been but the one that was a backcourt, right, where he got the steal and threw the ball back to his boy who was crossing over and got the foul before the dunk. Yeah, if you go back and watch the play, they clearly were designing that to get it to Vasar. Now, I don't know, Kelvin, if the plan was some kind of, what was it, Valparaiso, the Drew family, with that whole pass back. Like, I don't know if the plan was for Vasar to go up high and catch and then find somebody else cutting for an open 3, or if they were just expecting Vasar in traffic to turn and shoot a 3. But clearly he was the target of that pass.
And what happened was, I don't know who it was running up the sideline, so that made me believe that they were going to catch it and throw it to that guy on the sideline, because him running up the sideline brought his man, and his man is the one who actually intercepted the pass. So I think that what it had to be a pass thrown to the big man, Vasar, to make the pass off. I think that was Love. That he was going to have to throw the ball to right there on his right side right there.
Love was in the backcourt. I know, like, similar to the way they set up that. It might have even been like a similar setup as far as the personnel. I couldn't tell because the camera was only showing Arizona's side of the court. But as far as Love was in the backcourt, same kind of curl position he would be for Iowa State, closely guarded, unlike he was in the Iowa State game. They just let him roam free, catch the ball, and let it fly from half court. So I think Love was in the backcourt and sprinted up the sideline after the pass was going to Vasar. So you got to be right. I mean, they have to have been planning for Vasar to go up and pass it off, but unfortunately didn't even make it to him.
Yeah, I just think with 6 seconds to go, because it wasn't like the game here where you only had like 2 seconds. I mean, you still had 6 seconds to go.
If you remember what we talked about last game, well, not last game, but the Iowa State ending, the question was, why didn't Iowa State foul? If you're up by 3, they got 3 seconds left. They got to get a 3 to tie it. If you put it on the free throw line, there's no way they can get 3 points from the 2 free throws. The question there is, there's only 3 seconds left in that Iowa State scenario. So if you're going to intentionally foul, whoever catches the ball, if they have a shooting motion, guys, that could be 3 free throws. Right. In this case, 6 seconds, I think the thought process from Arizona was they're going to foul us.
So I'm watching it again right now. So Caleb really wasn't sprinting. He just kind of turned and ran towards the sideline, and then they just threw it up for grabs. But there was nobody. It wasn't like there was somebody running down that they were trying to throw it to. He was just kind of standing on the sideline by the midcourt line, kind of in the same area where Henry was, to try to receive the pass. So I still don't have any idea what they were trying to do.
And that was off a timeout.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
That was off a timeout. So.
Right. I would think you could come up with something better than that.
Yeah.
Well, the big problem was not that play as much as it was the count them, 5 turnovers in the last 4 minutes of that game. No field goals until there were 30 seconds left. So KJ made a jumper with 4 minutes and 5 seconds left in the game. 5 turnovers, a whole bunch of empty possessions, and then with 28 seconds left, that's when Caleb made that layup to cut it to 2, and then more fouling. So it was really just that stretch with 4 minutes to go up until about 1 minute to go in the game that Arizona's offense, they just couldn't get a good look, missed 3 jump shots and 5 turnovers in that stretch. And I think that's the deciding factor, was that close. We haven't seen that. Arizona's been closing really strong recently, guys, but that stretch there did not do them any favors.
2, 4, 5, as you mentioned, down the stretch were the Wildcats in terms of shooting. And they lose 73-70. Let's find out how we did on our bets tonight.
Tucson, what happened with today's best bets? Did the Cats beat the spread? It's time to look at the best bets. Brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
All right, everybody took Arizona.
Can you just say no? They didn't. No. The answer is no to that question. No.
It is a big fat no for everybody tonight. Arizona -3.5 was the line. Everybody took the Wildcats and laid the number. So that is a losing bet. over-under was 149.5. Everybody took the over. 73-70 adds up to 143. So that is the under. So everybody loses big tonight at the Desert Diamond Casino. J-Dub is now +4. BK is even. Kelvin is -4 on the season through 48 plays. We'll see what happens.
Today's best bets brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
520-848-1290. You can check in with us by a call or text. Lee checks in on the text groove and says, some days you don't shoot well, but we could have still won if we didn't give the ball away so much.
Well, I was going to say, when you're talking about the best bets there, that popped in my mind is that the one thing we haven't really recognized this game is that this was one of their, more disjointed, I would say, offensive performances in recent memory in this stretch. And they shot 2 for 22 from 3, had a bunch of uncharacteristically unforced turnovers. And guys, they lost the game by 1 possession.
Yeah.
So, as far as being on the road, hostile environment, you have to give so much credit to that group that played 39, 37, 36 minutes, Kelvin, and really willing themselves back into that game, making big plays. KJ, obviously, at the center of a lot of that, because there were a couple stretches there where the crowd was going crazy and K-State started getting things going on offense where you could have seen some finger pointing or whatever. Nobody was having a good night. Let's put it that way. I mean, nobody was having an above average night individually, right? Offensively is what I'm talking about. So in a night like that, when you're on the road, the other side of this coin is K-State shot 1 for whatever from 3. 2 or 3 more of those go down, they might win by 10, right? It's same thing on both sides. I just look at the unforced turnovers and maybe some of the decision shot selection at certain stretches of that game. Arizona could clean those things up, but they stayed in this game, guys, despite all those things going against them.
KJ Lewis with the steal that changed the game. At least I thought it was going to change the game. They're late, man. That was an absolutely beautiful pick by him to get the ball and get the Wildcats up late.
Yeah, I mean, but you got to take your hats off to Kansas State. They were playing desperate basketball. Yeah. They was playing like they really needed this game to get that resume builder. They did, and that's the way that they play. They play like they had to have it, as Coach Tomey used to say. It had to have it, and that's the way that they played today. And I'll say this: that loss again, that's a road loss. Only 2 road losses on their resume, right? That's 2, right?
What was Coach Olson's recipe?
Win the home and split the road.
All your home games and half your road games.
There
right?
you go.
Yeah.
So you still are on track, and especially when you go back and look at your best player again didn't have a great day. Your best offensive player, I'll say anyway, didn't have a great day. So you can look at that and logically say, man, we could have won that. But I also believe that might be that little wake-up call that you need to be able to come back and defend your house versus Houston, because now to keep yourself in contention
for the
championship, you have to have it.
Right.
So now it turned right back on you now, and we get to see what our guys about. It's going to be crazy in McHale, and our guys seem to respond to that.
What's another crazy stat I heard Brian mention in the postgame was this is only their second 1-possession game that they've played all year long, and they have now played 25 games.
Yeah.
So in 25 games, guys, they've only played 2 1-possession games and lost both of them. They lost 3-point loss to UCLA and now 3-point loss on the road to Kansas State. That's not to say that they can't win a 1-possession game. They've come back in the last 5 minutes of games recently. But yeah, you definitely want to build a resume, Kelvin, of being able to close out tight games. That's such a great measure of a great team. Whether or not you're a good team, great team, is finding a way to win close games where it could go. It's a coin flip either way. I mean, 1 possession, one way or the other, a 3-point game.
Doug McDaniel scored a season-high 24 points in this ball game as the K-State Purple Cats beat the Arizona Red Cats 73-70 in Manhattan tonight. David Gusan, the reigning Big 12 Player of the Week, 16 points and 7 rebounds. It's a 6th straight win for the Kansas State Wildcats, coming off a streak of 6 consecutive losses. So they continue their momentum as they try to find a way back into this postseason picture. And again, like we said before the ball game, they didn't have a lot. This was their highest, their highest net game remaining on the schedule. There's not a whole lot more for them in terms of what they've got left, but they're in a really good position now because again, they're gonna be probably favored in a large majority of the games down the stretch to put them in a position where they might be able to, who knows,
so
be the 5th or 6th seed going into Kansas City.
Putting this into perspective, today, prior to this game, net rankings by percentage has Arizona as a 100% lock to make the tournament and Kansas State as a 6% chance, 6% chance based on their current resume. Now, that's not to say this win will give them a huge boost because this is a quad one win against a top 10 net ranking opponent. Their schedule remaining, they have Iowa State, but not too many more. If they win out, without them winning the postseason tournament, as far as getting an at-large bid, it's unfortunate they had that 9 losses in 10-game stretch just prior to this. And, the committee does look at what you've done recently, right? Like how you're playing, injury factor and all that stuff. As it stands right now today, they might need to win out to get an at-large bid. But again, if they maybe lose 1 or 2 games down the stretch and then get a big win over a Kansas, a Houston, or an Arizona in the conference tournament, that could also boost their chances as well.
Didn't they lose a guy at the beginning of the year?
Who's that?
A transfer guy or something?
I looked at their schedule. I looked at their recent games, and I didn't see anybody who's been out recently.
I thought at the beginning of the year they lost a transfer.
There are a couple of guys. Anchor. He played 7 games, and then Rich Malakeb played 11 games.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Again, we are streaming the show on Facebook Live, YouTube, and Twitch tonight. Not on the Instagram Live tonight. Maybe we'll get back up on there for Saturday's game. It is going to be an early one, so no time to get into the day on Saturday because you're going to be up and early going, a noon tip-off at McHale Center for what is going to be the biggest game so far in the conference this season with the top 2 teams, the Arizona Wildcats and the Houston Cougars. Let's take a call and chat with Connie. You are on Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day, the postgame show.
Hey, thanks, guys, for taking the call. I just want to say that the Cats are they're enigmatic. They're a team that is an enigma. And this game, they should have showed up, and I don't know if they got the memo, but it was a very important game to win. With the loss, it puts pressure returning home on us to perform, though we usually get it done at McHale. But today's performance, they were flat from the first half, and there was no one taking any drive or authority, leadership, and there was no tempo established early. So they let K-State hang around, and it was just a flat performance from the get-go. I always have a really poor feeling when I see that early, and I'm not sure what that is regarding the chemistry of the team or with Coach Lloyd and whatnot. But the games are paramount, and they got to show up regardless if we're traveling to K-State or whatever. I see the Cats, my prediction, second round, they're out. They just don't play. They don't play like they have to win and there's no tomorrow. And that's why Houston and those teams that are in the elite level are at the caliber of the squad, and they're up in that high tier, and they've been there for a while. They'll drop a game here and there, but they know they got to put the fire under their own rear ends with the next game, And so that's a terrible part of being a fan, in my opinion, because you don't know what you get.
Yeah.
I'm calling them the crapshoot Cats.
The crapshoot Cats. Wow.
Now, if they beat Houston, you gonna call back in?
I will call back in. You know why? Because that's only one game.
But you said Houston basically. But wait, would you repeat what you said about Houston? You said Houston is. You basically were saying they were the champions.
No, I didn't say they were the champions. I'm just saying if they dropped the game. Duke dropped the game recently to K-State. They get back up and they got fire under the rear end.
Yes,
we
exactly.
we don't have that passion.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. If we drop the game against Kansas State, if we come back and beat Houston, will that say we got fire?
It's only one game.
Oh man. Okay.
No, it is. It's only one game.
You, brother.
And here's the deal. I'll tell you. Here's the reason why. Because we went on a streak. What do we go? 6 games, right? For 7.
6. That was little. That was pretty big.
I'm just saying we dropped, but still, it doesn't matter. There's just something undefinable with the squad that they can't get themselves up. Don't know what it is.
Well,
it might be a chemistry thing, a starting thing.
They've won 13 out of their last 14 games prior to tonight.
Prior to tonight, right.
But those are just 1 games in a 14-game stretch. They didn't play well tonight on the road against Kansas State. I don't know that you can make prognostications based on this performance. I think this was an anomaly, if anything else, just based on the stats and the way that they.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. That 3-point, that was just I can't even remember seeing both.
I don't think I've ever seen 2 teams combined for 3 for 41. 3 for 41. 3 for 41 combined. These two teams shot.
Never seen it. But you know what though? Here's a great thing about our squad. I think sometimes, and even prior to this team that Tommy has right now, they got to put pressure on themselves, and we didn't have Townsend, but in spite of that, I think they got to put themselves in a corner sometimes, to really see identify with the greatness of talent, the collective talent that we have. And that's where I'm saying therein lies the enigma. I just don't get it, but sometimes that's an extraordinary amount of talent. You got youth with Carter. He's going to be stubbing his foot for a while, but he's learning, and it's really been nice to see him grow. But I just really think this was a game that before we got on board that charter, like we gotta close this thing out. We got to get this thing done. We're going into minus 23 degrees. I don't know what it was.
Well, it's that cold. 23. I don't know if it was minus 23.
I don't know. Minus 23 or whatever. And it's like, okay, let's close this out, boys. And they had their chances, but I think they were flat out of the gate.
Connie,
I still have a lot of hope.
Connie, we said on the pregame show it is a long season. And they are at 13 and what they're 11-2, 11-2. And they still are largely, unless there's a complete collapse, I think they're probably going to finish this first year in this very good conference with a pretty good conference record.
Yeah, everything you said, Connie, is true. It's it's frustrating to watch a team with talent maybe not show that or flash that at times. And this Arizona Wildcats team was picked to finish 5th in a very good Big 12 conference, and they're currently in 2nd place. So relative to preseason expectations, they're actually outperforming their preseason expectations. And I don't think, injuries are never an excuse, fouls are never an excuse. What Kelvin Sampson said last week, guys, about what teams really need this time of year is rest. What time was that Texas Tech game the other night?
Yeah, 9 o'clock or 8:30.
Like,
8:30, yeah.
Yeah, 8:30. It was 8:30 game. Yeah, very good point. Yep, you're on. You got it. So, your prediction Saturday?
My prediction? Oh my gosh, it's early, but I predict that they
pain and blood and sweat. That's what I
your
predict.
prediction.
Yeah,
pain.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be
Throw
like
it out
that.
there. Come on.
They've been
What's the
bouncing
spread
back.
on the
They
game?
usually bounce back pretty good out the L.
Yeah, we're coming home. What's the spread? I don't even know the spread on it.
It might be early for that.
Yeah,
but
they don't really usually set the lines
I'll look
quite
it up
this
for
early.
you. I don't think we got anything on that just yet.
They'll wait till they hear what Townsend's status is for sure.
Right.
Yeah, what I was really disappointed about is that Fox and CBS wasn't going to cover it. It's a 12:30 game, man. It's a Paramount game, so ESPN got it.
Yep. Connie, hey, we
All right,
appreciate your
guys.
call. Thank
I
you so
really
much.
appreciate it, man. Yeah, appreciate all the work you guys do and your insight and stuff. Keep it going, and go Cats, man.
Bear
W
down.
on Saturday, man.
There we go.
All
Absolutely. Pack the place on Saturday. It was a good environment there tonight. I didn't think it wasn't like over the top. I didn't think it was crazy, but it was strong.
A lot of
It
farmers.
was a strong, a lot of
farmers.
It was a strong Tuesday night on the plains.
I mean,
thought.
Kelvin, I never played basketball in Pullman, but I've seen a lot of games there, and there's a very similar feel. I'm not saying this in a negative way. I'm just saying that Manhattan, it's about what, 2 hours east of Kansas City, something like that. It's not. It's surrounded by farmland, and I think there's 50,000 people in that town, something like that. Without a doubt, that building showed up. I don't think it was completely packed or completely sold out. But as far as the noise that especially willing your team down the stretch, Kelvin, I mean, the noise that the crowd made on defense, right? To that whole trying to get the quarterback not be able to hear snap counts and that whole thing. I mean, they were really in it down the stretch, had a lot of energy down the stretch, and you have to give credit to the crowd without a doubt.
All right, Robert, hang on. We'll get to you coming out of the break. 520-848-1290. Line is also open and available. Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Gameday. Wildcats from Tucson fall to the Wildcats from Manhattan, Kansas, 73-70, ending the 6-game win streak. Coming home in second place behind the Houston Cougars, who will be in Tucson on Saturday at high noon on the desert. Bring your 6-shooter, because it's going to be needed. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290. Our Window Depot postgame coverage of Arizona basketball is just getting started. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. The postgame show is brought to you by Dave & Buster's Tucson, Desert Diamond Casinos, Dorado Rock, First Chiropractic, Goodfellas AC, Humane Society of Southern Arizona, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating and Plumbing, Restaurant Supply Store, Royal GMC Buick and Cadillac, Royal Kia, Royal Jaguar Land Rover, the Poston Results Team with Keller Williams Southern Arizona, the Window Depot, and by Meridian Wealth Management, wealth well managed, life well lived.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Kia, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Kia, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus or royalkia.com.
Looking to upgrade your home? The Window Depot is your go-to spot for Milgard windows and patio doors. Select from a variety of styles, including aluminum, vinyl, or fiberglass, to start your journey to a brighter, more beautiful home. The Window Depot has Milgard windows in stock, ready to go home today, or their team can help you with a special order. Whether you're looking for energy efficiency, aesthetic appeal, or custom solutions, they've got you covered. Build the home you deserve with Milgard windows and doors from the Window Depot. Visit thewindowdepot.com to find a location near you.
Competition and playing as a team. These are things we'll see this season watching our Wildcats play basketball. These happen to be the things you'll also find when you buy your next vehicle from O'Reilly Chevrolet. The only difference is at O'Reilly, nobody gets penalized for traveling. Heck, we actually encourage it. See us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or find new roads at O'Reilly.com, where you can experience our version of a steal. O'Reilly Chevrolet, more than a great price.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Did you know collecting sports cards is one of the fastest growing hobbies around? Whether you're looking to start or expand your collection, Showtime Cards is your ultimate destination. As one of the leading card shops in the country, they've been serving our community for over 25 years with the best in sports cards and trading card games. From rare finds to the latest releases, Showtime Cards has it all. Check them out at ShowtimeCards.com or visit them today at 5801 East Speedway and discover why collectors everywhere trust Showtime Cards for their passion.
Hi, this is Peter Costa, former governor of the New York Stock Exchange and proud member of the Advisory Business Council with Meridian Wealth Management. One thing I've learned over 40 years on the floor is the value of a trusting relationship with your financial advisor. After all, everyone is a genius when the markets are going up, but when they drop, that's when the guidance of a professional is most important. For more information about Meridian, call 719-1433 or visit online at meridianwealthllc.com.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Accidents cause hassles as big as the Grand Canyon.
So we're hitting the road to spread the word about the bird.
The Eagle at Goldberg and Osborne.
Freeway fiasco in Flagstaff.
Hurt in Havasu.
Totaled in Tucson.
No worries. The Eagle has offices across the state. From Kingman
to Sierra Vista, where they fight hard to get you more.
So relax and ride on.
Because the bird is the word.
Visit Goldberg and Osborne at 1-800-THEEAGLE.com.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats basketball radio broadcast. Two powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. coolwillies.com.
Do you often worry you left your garage door open? With the LiftMaster Garage Door Opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime from anywhere through the MyQ app. As an authorized LiftMaster dealer, we have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power is out. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit kaisergarage.com to learn more.
Honey, our yard looks like a jungle. It's full of weeds, and the neighbors are complaining,
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using just doesn't work. Not to mention, I don't have the time.
It's not just the weeds. I'm also seeing ants and a spider, a scorpion. I saw a scorpion, and I think there's a pack rat living in the garage.
I get it.
It's scary.
I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today and get rid of them all.
You're the best, honey.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
First Chiropractic is pleased to announce that Access Health Plans now cover chiropractic care. A referral by your PCP is required. For more information, go to firstchiro.com, the most trusted name in chiropractic care. A proud U of A radio sponsor.
First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
A Window Depot coverage of the Wildcats rolls on. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day postgame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
Hawkins will hand it off. Jones knocked away, stolen by K.J. Lewis. Going to drive on C.J. Jones. Wyatt, it's good. He's fouled. Arizona back in front.
Big time play by K.J. Lewis, doing what he does as an elite defender, able to get his hands on that dribble handoff, leading to a 2-on-1, using his athleticism for the contact and finish. That's what Arizona needs right now, getting stops, turning those into offense. That's why they find themselves with the lead.
That was the steal that I thought was going to change the game by K.J. Lewis. But it did not, as Kansas State would rally after that basket. I think they went on a run of about, 6 or 8 in a row after that. Because that gave the Wildcats a 62-60 lead. And the Wildcats of the purple variety would score the next 8 points to go up by 6 and essentially salt away the game after that, although it got down to 1 at the end. And the Wildcats had 2 chances to try and get a shot off to tie the game with a desperation 3. The first one was a turnover. The second one, the shot by Caleb Love, was no good.
KJ's only 138 steals behind Reggie.
Ooh, that's maybe doable.
No, I'm just looking at the all-time steals leaders because I know Reggie's up there. Reggie with 208 in his career, and KJ's got 70. And we think of KJ as being one of the theftiest guys that's been around in a minute in a U of A uniform. Yeah, Reggie knows all about that play.
520-848-1290 is the best to ever do it defensively here at the University of Arizona. That's for sure. And I'm sure he was loving that at the time that it happened. Let's chat with Robert. You are on Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day, the postgame show after a 73-70 Arizona loss at Kansas State.
Yeah, I'm sick of these damn unforced turnovers on our team. Every time anybody tries, like KJ Lewis, Caleb Love should not handle the ball. Should get it and pass, or get it and shoot. You see some of the other college teams, they get the ball and they shoot it. For some reason, we have to run 20, 25 seconds of offense. Often we have three guys within about 4 feet of each other on the court. It just bogs down the offense. I'm sick of watching. KJ Lewis is a great defensive player, but that guy actually sucks as a ball handler. I'm sorry. He should not be handling the ball. He should not be the backup point guard. I'm sorry. The guy cannot handle the ball. He plays great defense, but then he gives the other team 6, 8, 10 points on turnovers. It's like and then I don't know why do you think we have to run the shot clock for so long before we can take a shot? To me, it bogs down the offense.
I don't know that they did that tonight, though, Robert. I thought they took a lot of those threes that they took were early in the clock. I thought they could have gotten much better shots than they took in tonight's game, anyway.
Yeah, that's a good point. And why do you guys have any opinion on why all season long, when we're playing a better team, a decent team, we can get an 8, 10, 12-point lead, and then in the next minute and a half, the lead is gone? Is it just the guys lose focus? Is it just, I don't know, is it something that Tommy Lloyd needs to call a timeout sooner on some of these things? Because some of the teams go on 10, 12-point runs, and it's like, call a timeout. You have, 4 per half? I don't understand why it's almost every single game, unless we have a 20-point lead, we're going to blow the lead at one point in the game and get back, have a tight game down the stretch.
Well, I've said a number of times, Robert, when you got a player like Caleb Love on your team, there's no reason you should go 4 minutes without a field goal. And they did that again tonight at the end of the first half. They scored they went 4 minutes and 50 seconds at the end of the first half without a field goal. That should never happen.
They ended up on a 13-0 run. Kansas State did. It's inexcusable the way these guys just, I don't know, it seems like they just lose focus, or I don't know, get big-headed or something, because especially, when they're running, they get some good shots and make some good plays, and all of a sudden they have, like you said, 3 or 4 minutes where we don't score, and we blow the lead, and hopefully against Houston we can't have any lapses at all, because we're going to get blown off the court at home if we do.
Let's see. KJ Lewis missed a couple jumpers during that stretch. Carter missed a 3 and a jumper, and then finally they got the bucket. They ran the play. They ran offense to start the second half with Toby Awaka, and they got a bucket.
Yeah, Awaka's been playing some good ball. I'm impressed with him. His playing, and Carter's coming around. I just hope Trey Townsend's back for Saturday.
It's almost like Robert. It's almost like, I'll use a baseball analogy here. It's almost like when your team is struggling at times offensively, you'd like your manager to bunt, but a lot of managers won't bunt early in the game because they feel like there's too many outs. You don't want to give up those outs early in a game. I think it's very similar with what we see at times with this team, where Tommy doesn't want to, he'll just let the free flow offense go in the first half because it's so early in the game, he doesn't want to take control of it. And I think that's why, although me personally, would I have liked to have seen him maybe take control in a close to 5 minute stretch like that? Absolutely. But I think his mentality is, it's first half, they were only, at the time they were up points. They were up, so it wasn't like they were behind. He was just going to let them play through it. And that's been his philosophy for 4 years.
And I can tell you from my experience of coaching, even the 11U group, you got to play with what you got. Mm. And he tried to go with he tried to give Conrad some minutes. Right when he got in the game, guy went right by him and got a layup. Kind of helped Doug get the going a little bit. Dale also in the game, guy go right by him twice for easy layups. So you're trying to do things, but you only can play what you got. You got 7 guys. You down Townsend. You feel fortunate to be in the game without having one of your major pieces not there, just far as a guy that eats up minutes and take your young fella off the court where he don't have to play 30 minutes. So, I'm not trying to get him any excuses or anything, but man, I've been in some of them tough situations as a coach where you wish you could what they call it, get some free agents and trade a guy too. You wish you could do all that, but guess what? You got
I'm sorry, I had an observation. Del Orso is always behind the guy he's defending when the guy's driving to the basket. I don't know why he plays. He can't play defense from behind, following the guy down the court. That's all I saw against Texas Tech and against. That's all he does. He's behind the guy he's supposed to be defending. How is he going to defend behind the guy?
And then he was the only one, to me, in the first half. He was the only one being aggressive at the offensive end.
Yeah, the little offense.
Yeah, he was.
And you know why, though? Because they were trying to take the three away from him. They wanted him to put the ball on the floor. As you notice, they didn't collapse on him when he put it on the floor. So he was able to drive and get a couple easy buckets, went back door because guess what? They were taking away the three-point line from him and turned their head and gave up a back door, and he got an easy bucket off that. But I just think Coach was concerned with him because they were playing as Tang said before, they were just playing basically street ball, and they're searching out whoever they think the weaker defender are. I think Coach just didn't want to go through that, so he went with his defensive unit.
Yeah, hopefully we'll play better against Houston. I hope we beat them. And if we play our good, we don't have these lapses, I think we can, be in it at the end and hopefully win it. So
yeah, that's all you can ask for.
Let's hope so, Robert. Appreciate you as always. Thanks for your call.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290. That opens up a line. Jody is watching tonight on Facebook, and Jody says that, oh, gosh, I lost her comment here. Let me go try to find it again. Give me a second here. Thank you for your post-game analysis. Jody says this was a tough one, but we can redeem ourselves on Saturday. Indeed we can, Jody, and it's going to be a raucous house. It's going to be one of those Saturdays Tommy loves because if it ends well, we can all go and have a nice dinner here in Southern Arizona.
I think you have to bake in games like this into your predictions for the year. I mean, because come on, Kelvin. I mean, how many clean runs through the PAC conference did Arizona have where they didn't, lose a game in Pullman they shouldn't have to a team that had 2 conference wins when they were sitting at the top of the conference? Not to say that Kansas State played out of their minds tonight, which is the case usually because it's generally been an overlooking scenario where Arizona's gone in where they got to play Oregon State. Maybe the Beavers aren't so great. Oregon's a top 20 team. We've seen a lot of that in the last 10, 15 years, right, in the conference. I just think games like this happen. There are going to be games where you shoot 2 for 22. What I said, I stand by what I said, where that I was proud that the team stayed.
I hope not. A lot of those.
No. I don't mean like specifically that bad, but you're going to have bad shooting nights. You're going to have nights where you have fumble the ball a little bit. Finding a way to win any game regardless of how well you're playing is really the key. And they were close. They were really close to pulling this one off. It just got away from them at the end.
Well, did Arizona break BYU? Because they have been an absolute disaster since last Tuesday night. They got beat tonight by, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the women. Okay, that's the wrong. But I think they did lose tonight, if I'm not mistaken. Their game, let me look this up here real quick. I had the women and not the men on our Goldberg and Osborne scoreboard. They won tonight. So BYU won tonight. So forget that I said that. Not a disaster after all as they go on the road and get a victory, 73-69 over West Virginia.
You know who didn't have a very good night tonight?
Who's that?
Coleman Hawkins.
Coleman Hawkins.
Yeah.
Okay.
He struggled.
Yeah, he did.
I was very impressed. I don't think I've really seen much of him. 6'10" guards who handle a lot, shoot the ball from 25. And are looking to set guys up. I mean, that's like a Kukoc type of thing, Kelvin. I mean, you don't see guys at that type of size, especially at this level. But he really struggled against Arizona's defense. What was he, 0 for 6 from 3, something like that. So, yeah, I think Arizona's defense, he was obviously a huge focus of them. It was just Doug McDaniel. He did so much street ball one-on-one. Like you said, that one scoop move. where he put Vesar on skates. A couple of really nice step backs from like 10 feet.
Yeah, how about his high banks?
Yeah, that bank shot was really impressive. Off of 1 foot, like leaning back, Dirk style. That was nice.
I'm going to ask you this, though, J-Dub. When do you start to double that and force the ball out of his hands and force somebody else to beat you, especially knowing that they're not making any threes? Now, they continue to shoot them, and as a coach, that scares you because you always worry about that one being the big dagger that hit you. But the reality of it is when you're playing the percentages at this point, man, I got to double you. I can't let you be the one to kill me. I mean, now, I understand Coach Lloyd. They're in the game. They're right there. Okay, yeah, he's going off, but nobody else really is. But we're right here. We have a chance. Do we have to do that? And I'm like, yes, let's slow down the guy that's playing well. Let's shoot the double on him because every time he got in a situation with anybody that he thought they couldn't guard him.
Well, they did that. They hunted those mismatches on the screens, and it felt to me like as soon as he got a Vesar on him or got a Waka on him or somebody who he could get on skates, they cleared the side, and everybody else went to the other side of the court more or less.
But J-Dub,
I'm not saying they shouldn't have doubled. I'm just saying that's what their intention was, to get a mismatch for Bug.
I saw exactly what you're saying, but I'm saying we got everybody past the midline because why are we going to three-point line when they're 0 for 30? I mean, we ain't going to go there. 0 for 10 at the time even, right? We're letting this guy cook when we know he's going one-on-one. He's searching our guys out. So we have to double. We got to hit. This was one of the games where I thought our guys should have overhelped. Right? When the other team is not shooting well, I'm going to force you to make one or two before I'll just allow you to kill me going inside, getting easy buckets. And it's the game that we play. Of course, when the game begins, you're like, okay, we got to lock up, take away the three. This team has been shooting well. They've been shooting well from the three, right? But as that game starts to progress, of course, you don't want to let them get going, but you start to tighten up a little bit as you start to notice what's going on at the floor of the game. That's all I'm saying. And I know it's hard because, again, you in the game, you one or two plays away from winning the game. Why should I change anything? I know how coaches think. Trust me. They're like, I ain't changing nothing because you don't want your players to think that you're flinching.
Yeah.
But at the same time, man, I ain't flinching. This guy got it going. Let's double him, force him to pass it back out to Hawkins, who was setting the screen, and let's see if Hawkins can throw up another one of those bricks that he was throwing up.
You know what? The very first thing Coach Lloyd said with Brian after the game was, he said, we could play better and we could coach better.
Yeah.
So what you're talking about is that decision to maybe not send an extra defender at Doug when he got it going there in the second half. Maybe they'll rethink that the next time they're in an opportunity like that because, yeah, I mean, it's the momentum of the crowd, especially on a hostile place where that team's on a 5-game winning streak. They're desperate for a big-time, high net ranking win. When he made, though, that bank shot, right? When he put Vesar on skates and got that little layup, that little underhanded layup, both of those plays were such huge momentum-shifting plays that got the crowd into it. Who knows? Maybe down the stretch, you get another, 5'11", little 175, something like that. You get a little guy like that. We know, Kelvin, those guys are the toughest. The guys who are 5'10", 5'11", who are skinny and you don't think they even look like they should be out there, and then they get it going. Those are the guys who are the scariest because they can fit in spots that a lot of other guys can't. And clearly, I mean, he had the full confidence that whoever he got mismatched on, he was going to be able to take it.
Yeah, and I'll say this also. That's the one type of player that we may have trouble with because – the 6'5 guard, 6'4 guard like Bradley always have trouble with the little jitterbug. Yeah. It's like in football where they have the tall DBs have trouble with the small receivers, right? Because they get the little jitterbug and they can, shake them off of them a little bit. It's the same thing in basketball, man. When you have to guard those little guys, that's why they went with Conrad for a second. They tried to see if Conrad maybe could guard him, but he was just a little too aggressive for Conrad coming fresh off the bench. He went right at him, and Coach got him right out the game. But, those are those little type of guys. I remember a little guy from Miami of Ohio that did the same thing to us as well. He was about 5'8", and had a ridiculous game and knocked us out the tournament. Those guys sometimes when they're aggressive and have belief from the coach, and they were talking about it, too, on TV, that when it first started out, it was shaky between him and Coach Tang. Coach Tang didn't trust him, and he didn't trust Coach Tang. Basically. But they basically got desperate and had to try to figure out something, and Coach let those guys play, and letting those guys play is more to his strength.
All right, before we talk to Sean, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day postgame show.
Your home for everything Arizona Wildcats. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290, KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station.
Along with Kelvin Efon and J.W. Madden, my name is David Kelly. It is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day, the post-game show. Wildcats, number 13 ranked team in the country, fall on the road at Kansas State, 73-70. Second loss of the season in the Big 12 for your Arizona Wildcats. Let's hear from Sean. You are on the post-game show.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Good, Sean.
If I have feedback, I'm not sure. I'm in my car, so.
No, you sound great.
You sound okay? Okay, cool. So my motto since Caleb Love has shown up is "One by love, die by love," and it's literally like, what are we doing, guys? Why do we let this guy shoot 5 3-point shots in a row? And I know he's our best scorer. You know, Tommy says things like,
I'm going to hang with him.
Yeah, we're going to let him go. You know, I love him. Well, you know what? We love.
He's ours.
At times, but it's hard. For me, like, Love is just a hard person to actually love. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he makes 60-foot shot, and we've got Iowa State, and it's all love. But then we show up and he scores, 6, 8 points, whatever it was tonight, and it's like I don't really love him anymore. It's like a marriage. And it's just kind of hard to deal with, you know?
I can live with. I said I can look. I can live right now. This is what I'm living with. I'm living with Caleb Love taking 15 shots because I said he has to do that. So I'm living with that. He may only. There are going to be nights when he makes 4. There might be nights where he makes 8 or 9. So I'm going to live with that, and I'm gonna live with KJ Lewis occasionally making a boneheaded turnover because he does so many other things well.
Yeah. KJ is my guy. I love the kid. I actually know him from growing up, and so my love for him is different than maybe other people. But I will say, the wrist injury, he needs to focus on different things instead of he hit down that 1-3, which is awesome. But without that kind of stuff, like your wrist is hurt. And let's just focus on defense and putting pressure on people and not so much on your scoring ability if we have scores on the court, which tonight we really didn't have.
Exactly. I'll say this. That's why he was so needed down the stretch. I mean, he hit some big buckets down the stretch to put them in a position where they had 2 chances to tie the game at the end.
You're right. You know, I will come back to that and the fact that he, was kind of clumsy with the ball, which I get the wrist issue. But his shot making later in the game was better. I think that he was more comfortable with his wrist. I played a lot of sports. I understand the idea of it might hurt in the beginning, but you get hit a couple times and all of a sudden it doesn't hurt anymore. So it's one of those things that, like, I really can't talk about KJ in this moment. My focus is more on Love and, like, why are we throwing up 23s and we make 1, 2? It's just crazy. Let's change our game plan, Tommy Lloyd. Let's focus on a different way to attack this game. Halftime, we're down 6, and we come back out. We're a little bit more aggressive attacking the basket, but then all of a sudden it's like, let's just go back to shooting 3s. And when Henry Vasar comes up the court and he gets the ball immediately at the 3-point line, he starts jacking them up. Every single time I almost throw up in my mouth. It's like, this isn't going to work. Our 7-footer should be down in the post. He should be backing people down, and he should be doing what he's supposed to do at 7 feet. When I was in high school, I'm 6'5". I'm not like 7 foot. I was no college player. I was never really that. I felt good. I felt like I was good, but high school Tucson, it's different. So my role at 6'5" was put your butt on the back of the basket, wait for a player to miss off of the three-point line, go get the basket and put it back in. That was how it worked. So, again, there's things as a coach I can see on the court. I didn't coach basketball. I've coached my daughters through all volleyball. I coached Palo Verde football for 5 years. I was a quarterback at the school. I'm not trying to, make myself sound good. But as a coach, kind of like Kelvin, I would say that you see things a little different on the court, and you're confused sometimes. Like, why are we doing this? I don't want to be the person on the couch that's talking like I'm the coach, but when you've played it and you've seen it, all of a sudden it's like, at this point, we should be doing something different. As a coach, there's times I'm like, why are we not calling timeout right now? Why are we not suppressing this? And I understand you guys' point on Tommy may not want to be like, hey, you guys are messing up. Let's go ahead and bring it back. Let's make them feel like they're not doing something right. But there's a point where actually you should.
Yeah.
And there's a point of refocusing, right? So those are kind of my points. I just feel like there was a lot of points in this basketball game. The big one, I would say, was why are the refs getting involved? At the moment, I was like, oh, this is great for 12 seconds of the let's pull these 2 points off the board. But then we aggressed their – they just wanted to become like, oh, you know what, you're going to take points off the board? Let's fight. And all of a sudden it's like we're down big by going in, to the half and all that. It's just like, whoa.
That was also a terrible call, right? I mean,
it was.
There was
absolutely. I was like, hey, I feel like I'm the bad person because I feel like in that moment, my karma was like, oh, yeah, that's good. At the same time, I'm like, oh, man, I'm the reason they lost. So
I've never seen that. I mean, clearly Carter Bryant hit the backboard. He didn't hit the ball. They reviewed it to see if he touched the ball after the ball went off the backboard is what they went to go look at. But taking those 2 points off the board, I mean, the dude was right there for the rebound and put back anyway. It would have been 2 points for them regardless.
Oh, but they gave it back later.
In football.
Let me say this. They gave it back later when that half court thing happened.
Yeah.
Because he caught it and he threw it back court, and they what happened? They act like they didn't see it.
Absolutely.
That was a different thing where they didn't
that way. You're right.
They didn't call anything on that play.
Yeah, they didn't.
So because they didn't call anything on that play, it was unreviewable. The possession's out of bounds. Like, did a foot step out of bounds because it's a dead ball? They have the ability to go back under 2 minutes to go review plays. The reason they took the goaltending off was because it was a called goaltending that they could go back and look at. That backcourt violation happened so fast, the refs didn't even see it. They didn't call anything, and they put the guy at the free throw line because there was nothing to review.
But under 1 minute, not even under 1 minute, they can't go back and.
No, it has to.
There had to be a call.
It has to be a call.
There has to be a reason to be reviewed.
Right. So, like, if somebody steps out of bounds and then they can come back at the next dead ball and review if he did step out of bounds, because that's a turnover where they called his foot out of bounds type of thing. I'm not saying it was right. I'm just saying the reason they didn't review it is because they didn't call backcourt to begin with. And that's why they didn't.
Right. I mean, I'll kind of combat that. I feel like there's a point of that call where you're within 2 minutes. If I am stepped on the 3-point line, right, and I make a three, you put three on the board, you take it back off after a review under 2, then why can we not review the backcourt violation?
I think that's a question for the NCAA Rules Board.
Absolutely. And I'm not at that level, I promise.
Neither are we.
Guys, it's just a hard loss. I didn't feel good about the game coming up to it. And it's one of these things. Like Tommy Lloyd's teams, if you go 4 minutes into the game and you're not feeling great about it, back and forth, 5, 6 turnovers within the first 10 minutes, whatever it is, and it's just like, oh, it's one of these games. And I've been listening to the show since you guys come on. I've heard other people kind of say similar things. It's one of those moments. It's like, oh, we're not going to win this game. It's one of those moments that you can just kind of feel it.
Yeah.
You get optimistic as it goes on, and we get a 7-point lead. All of a sudden, the refs show up randomly and say, actually, we're taking those 2 points off. The crowd gets crazy back involved. The the team gets back involved because they're like, oh, well, the refs are against us. It's Arizona's Kansas City Chiefs. So we need to show back up. Let's fight. You know, like maybe they weren't quite ready to fight at the moment, but all of a sudden they are, because we're getting not just this team, but a different team against us at one time. I don't know. I would want to fight too. I would be like, okay, we're getting dissed either way. So anyways, I've been talking way too much. You guys are awesome. I appreciate your conversations. I'd love to listen to you guys the rest of the way off the air.
Thank you, Sean.
Thanks, Sean.
Appreciate it immensely. All right, we got to get a break in.
Here's what it says. It says, currently the only call coaches can typically challenge in the final 2 minutes is whether the ball went out of bounds. Now, there is a coach's challenge that you'll get a review and lose a timeout if you're wrong, right? But that situation, they didn't have a timeout at that point, I don't think, so they couldn't have. But it's the under 2 minutes is specifically the 3-point. If a player steps on the line, if it's a 3 or a 2, that's automatically reviewable throughout the entire game as soon as it gets to the next dead ball. But the under 2 minute situation for refs review is stepping out of bounds, if the ball touched the line, those kind of things. So that backcourt violation wouldn't apply there.
520-848-1290 is the number. We'll get a break in here, come back, take more of your calls, hopefully hear from the Wildcats in Manhattan. No post-game just yet, but we'll try to make that happen for you. Scoreboard as well. All of that's still straight ahead. Scheduled to go to about 11 o'clock tonight, so still time to get in if you would like. We've got some texts that we'll read as well. Along with Kelvin Efon and J.W. Madden, I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290. Our Window Depot post-game coverage of Arizona basketball rolls on. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. The post-game show is brought to you by Broadway in Tucson, Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing, Drain Medics, First Choice Pools, Goldberg and Osborne, the Injury Lawyers, Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates, Lexus of Tucson, O'Reilly Chevrolet, Recon Auto Detail, Right Way Heating, Cooling and Plumbing, Rockin' K, a master plan community designed by nature, Showtime Sports Cards, Tucson Police Department, University Termite and Pest Control, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. In the top-rated Vail School District, Rockin' K is close to work, shopping, and services. Tour 18 model homes by top-tier builders, offering move-in ready homes and special incentives. LiveRockingK.com. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing is the ultimate team when it comes to your home's comfort.
Thinking about replacing your heating and air system? It's February at Right Way.
These are some of the slowest months of the year. We have equipment in stock and our crews are available.
And we're including an 80% furnace absolutely free with the purchase of an air conditioning system.
And if that's not enough, we're offering 60 months no interest financing, tax credits up to $2,600, energy efficiency rebates, and 10-year parts and labor warranty.
Call or text 520-200-2422 today or visit rightwayac.com.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Now that winter is really here, cooler overnight temperatures mean that your tire pressure warning light could be on. In most cases, you solve the problem by simply adding the correct amount of air to your tires. As always, you can stop by any of our 14-area Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care locations for a free tire inspection and air pressure check. And if you need help with that low-pressure warning light, we fix those too. Check out jackfurriers.com. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, here to get you there.
Don't hold back. Just dive right in. This is Desert Diamond. The round-the-clock, off-the-charts, over-the-top spectacle that puts a shine on any day, anytime. The tables are hot to the touch. The slots are spinning winners every day. And the point spreads are yours for the taking. So go ahead. Live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino. Visit ddcaz.com.
An enterprise of the Tohono O'odham Nation.
driving the lane, dunking on the competition, and playing as a team. These are things we'll see this season watching our Wildcats play basketball. These happen to be the things you'll also find when you buy your next vehicle from O'Reilly Chevrolet. The only difference is at O'Reilly, nobody gets penalized for traveling. Heck, we actually encourage it. See us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or find new roads at O'Reilly.com, where you can experience our version of a steal. O'Reilly Chevrolet, more than a great price.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Go Wildcats! As a new season starts, the Tucson Police Department bears down with the Tucson community. We are looking to build our team, and we need you. Interested in joining our starting lineup? Visit jointucsonpd.org. Join our team and score a great career. From our commissioned officers to our professional staff, the Tucson Police Department proudly stands behind the Arizona Wildcats. Bear down and apply today at jointucsonpd.org.
The garage is more than a place to park your car. It holds prized possessions, and for most, it's a bustling entryway to the home. That's why LiftMaster designed the first ever opener with a built-in wide-angle camera and two-way audio, so you can see what matters and secure what's inside. Ensure your family and prized possessions are secure with a reliable garage door opener that's built to last and powered by MyQ for smartphone control. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit kaisergarage.com to learn more.
I love my weekend rides across Arizona. I travel with all the protection I need. Helmet, gloves, leathers, and the Eagle. Goldberg and Osborne. The Eagle fights hard to help injured riders across the state. Whether we're cruising through Carefree, slow riding in Sedona, or breezing through Bisbee, they find you doctors, manage medical bills, and get you back on your bike with the most money possible. Injured riding? The bird is the word. Visit Goldberg and Osborne at 1-800-THEEAGLE.com.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
A Window Depot coverage of the Wildcats rolls on. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day postgame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain, Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
Del Orso with the ball. Top of the circle. His pass stolen away. McDaniel on a breakaway. He'll go down and lay it in.
Yeah, once again, there's the turnover bug here at the beginning of the second half. Have to take care of the basketball. Doug McDaniel, one of the best in the country, going for steals.
Doug McDaniel, big night tonight for the Kansas State Wildcats. He finished with 24 points. He had 5 steals in the game. 5 of K-State's 14 steals. He had 3 assists to go with 3 turnovers, 24 points. He also had 4 rebounds in the game. 73-70, Kansas State knocks off number 13, Arizona, in Manhattan, Kansas. Let's head back down. We're starting to get some of the postgame in. Let's head down real quick and hear from Doug McDaniel and a few of his teammates after the big win tonight over Arizona.
The student section chanting your name at the end of the game, what does that feel like to you?
I can't even explain the feeling. You know, just a great feeling to know that they had my back. You know, I'm going through a little bit of pain right now, and they just lifted me up. I could do nothing but smile in that moment.
Moby, 13 minutes, and it felt like you never got tired in those 13 minutes. What has been the biggest difference from when you first arrived at K-State to now that's allowing you to play at this level?
I would say my mentality. The coaches and my teammates they've helped me shape it. You know, shape it into more like, okay, you're never tired. You know what I mean? Like, it's always like a mental thing. So it's definitely helped for sure.
That Duncan steal with, I think, less than a minute or around a minute to go. What was going through your head when you sort of got the ball? Did you sort of know that you had that much space in front of you?
I mean, I kind of knew he was going to pass the ball. You know what I mean? Like, just like, because they were very like calm. So I knew, okay, if I reach on this ball, I'm probably going to get it. So got the ball, went down, slowed down a little bit to kind of get him behind my back. Just jumped up and just dunked it. Yeah.
Doug, last game you mentioned that you're playing with the most confidence that you feel like you've been playing in a while. How much is that confidence helping you when your team needs a bucket and you're able to hit those tough mid-range jumpers that you hit near this end there?
Down the stretch, when we need something to go, and, the guys look for me to make those plays, I take pride in moments like that, because, my mindset is I never want to let them down. So whatever I can do to help us, get that edge and win it, I'm going to do it. And the fact that they looking at me to make those big plays, just makes it even more, meaningful because, they count on me and I'm counting on them too. And, I showed up tonight and, I just love seeing them smile on their face.
All right, that was Doug McDaniel and Moby, who had the big dunk at the end. 73-70, Kansas State knocks off the 13th ranked Arizona Wildcats tonight in Manhattan. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Let's hear from Danny. You're on Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Gameday, the postgame show.
Hey, guys. How you guys doing?
Danny, we are hanging in there tonight.
I haven't talked to you a whole lot this year. I remember last year when Wisconsin came to town. Remember that, David?
Oh,
I
yes.
saw these two guys that looked like twins walking out of the Marriott University with matching sweatshirts.
Right.
Smiling. I said, enjoy the day. It's going to get worse.
I remember that.
Hey, so I got to turn to you guys who have more knowledge. I can't figure out whether it's our lack of output or is it our lack of holding people. So going backwards, the 3 games that we lost in the tournament over the last 3 years, our best shooter shot 23. Our best shooters, plural, shot 23 for 99.
Okay.
In those 3 games. Clemson scored an average of 77. They just happened to hold us to 15 below our average. I don't know, and then I want to touch on one other thing and hear what you guys have to say. Before Trey got hurt, I'm like going, this guy's a load. I mean, what's he doing for us? Now it's like, does it seem like, Captain, do they just shoot, when they feel it, or how does it work?
How does it work, Kelvin Ifon?
You said, well, kind of. I mean, it's one of when you playing the flow offense, man. Basically, is that what he's talking about, right?
Yeah.
In the flow offense, when you basically, man, whoever feel like they got it, take it. I mean, that's the way it is. I mean, they take the shot that they feel like they practice. They definitely looking for the extra pass. They're looking for the next best pass. But if they have it, they can take it. And hey, again, I think it's tough for Coach Tommy because he go back and look at the game. There were several chances he could have won the game with his style. Right?
Yeah.
So that makes it tough for him. But at the same time, a guy like me, I come from a different school. A lot of us saw different brands of basketball. And so me, I want to take control of the end of those games and try to see if I can get Caleb some easy shots. He had 0 free throws today, man.
Yeah.
0 free throws today. And again, he in this offense, I know Coach Lloyd would say he had to figure it out. He needs to figure it out. But sometimes in these situations, man, when you know that your team plays well, when Caleb is smiling and having a good game, it just seems to loosen everybody up. I just have to have me a couple go-to plays to where I can get him some easier shot attempts, around the rim.
Especially when you got a team that shoots 84% from the line.
Yeah.
Get to the line.
Yeah,
when you can't make a 2-point shot, get to the line.
If you listen to Coach Lloyd, Danny, what he says, the terminology he uses and they use is A, B, and C options. And what they're talking about is we got a player who shoots really well in the catch and shoot. If he gets in his shooting pocket and he can go down, right up, and fire off his shot. That same player, if he catches with his right foot pivoted back and pivots into his shot, maybe with some kind of defender in the area, that's a B, or then there's a C, which is off-balance Kobe baseline over the 3 defenders. So when they look at film, it's really the shot selection was that player shooting a shot that we consider to be in the A good category or option 1, whatever the terminology they're using is. I think what you saw tonight was a couple of quick shots by Carter Bryant within the offense. I know that 1-3 the previous caller mentioned about Henry Vasar, might not have been within the flow of the offense. I just think, well, like I said in the first segment, I think they broke down and got a little bit too into the one-on-one street ball type of thing. That's what Kansas State has been doing this last 5 games. They struggled really in some kind of contextual offense, guys, and that they lost 9 out of 10 games. And they really struggled, especially because, that's a coaching staff that runs, Kelvin, like 6 defenses. Like they do a lot of 1-3-1 and a lot of different stuff. If you watched any of their games earlier in the year, they've really honed in on just playing man-to-man D and rolling the ball out there and letting Doug go crazy and letting, their players just make one-on-one individual plays, hunting mismatches. That's what I would say. If I'm looking at Kansas State Wildcats defense or a team in general, Arizona got a little bit too caught up in that, Danny. They a little bit too much one-on-one tonight for my liking.
Yeah, it's just I feel like I'm developing this pattern in my mind that says I back Tommy 100%. You guys know that I'm a little older school, right? My history at Arizona games starts with a moment of silence for Steve Kerr's father, and then through all the been to the Final Fours. But I don't think we haven't lost a game in the tournament where we could turn around just in the last 3 years where we could turn around and say, well, we gave it our best shot. We didn't. We're always coming up short on shooting. Why?
Well, I mean, to that I will say this, is that Coach Lloyd hasn't really gotten a cycle of the players he wants to recruit to Arizona, really. If you talk about COVID year, him taking over, Coach Miller's players, that was the first 2-3 years, even some trickle in, guys. And obviously last year, I think, was the first year. But Caleb Love is a career 36% shooter, right? So when your leading scorer isn't consistently knocking down 50% of his shots, you're going to see that quite a bit. He takes the most shots. He might have a game where he shoots 80%, and more often games he shoots 15, 20%. And that's really what we're talking about, is one guy who's getting a bunch of shots, and then who else is getting the shots? Well, a freshman, right? Awaka did damage in that first half, a little bit of foul trouble, but the guys that you're looking at taking the shots on this year's team, that cycle, all I'm really saying is the cycle of freshman to sophomore to junior, and in the NIL transfer portal, I know it's not going to be as clean as we once saw it back in the day, but I think you're going to find that in time, Coach will probably lean towards recruiting a couple more shooters, Kelvin, to surround, because right now it's all drivers. Right now, Del Orso can knock down an open shot. Who else? I mean, who else do you really... Carter had a couple of nice games, but as far as a knockdown shooter who you can count on, Gonzaga built their entire 25-year run on having bigs and high-low surrounded by shooters. And right now, that's the big thing lacking in this particular roster.
And I think, I think Coach built this team for defense more, understanding that the teams that have been winning, if you go watch, have been defensive-minded. And the only other thing I'll just question is, the team that won the back-to-back championship has been set-minded. They run sets.
The most set-minded program in the country, if people don't know. Connecticut runs more sets than anybody.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and his point guards look over his shoulder every play. every play. And they get what they want.
I watched film, and they had one play last year that they ran 100 times that involved 16 screens. Think about that.
Yeah.
Just outrageous.
I mean, it's just I know it's a matter of, because I mean, this is my alma mater as well, and I know it's a matter of love me, love my dog, right? I did happen to go back. I just fear that day in March, Caleb Love, who shot 5 for 24 in the national championship. I just go, okay, how do we get around that?
Well, I don't know that you're going to get around it. I mean, this is the team. These are the players.
Yeah,
we've said,
and that's what I was going to go with. I'm sorry for cutting you, but I got to say this: Doug McDaniel, he went 10 for 22. He's a superstar, right? He was 1 for 5 from the 3, and the reason why he got it done is because his team believed in him, even when he wasn't shooting a high percentage. That he kept shooting and he stayed aggressive. So that's why they end up winning the game. We're not looking at that he was 10 for 22. And that's what, seven more shots than Caleb took, right, to get to that point.
Yeah.
And he did make the 1-3, but he was 1 for 5, wasn't having a great day from the outside as well. Hawkins wasn't having a good day. He was 2-11, 0 for 6 or whatever. The only thing that they did a little bit better was that once they found out McDaniel was going, they went to him. and they let him take all the
And
shots.
that's their offense this last 6 games. That's what they do. They're hunting mismatches and they're feeding the hot hand. It's NBA style. It's whatever best mismatch we have on the court is with the guy who's got it going right now.
And honestly, I thought KJ Lewis had a little mismatch because of his athleticism and quickness. I thought that we should have been going to him and let him get downhill and continue to get and-ones and get fouls or whatnot if you're not going to set up plays using Caleb as a decoy or getting him in spots to get his shots.
Don't read too much into this, but one of the reasons that Caleb Love did not have a free throw is that somehow Doug McDaniel, with his 5 steals, played 37 minutes and wasn't called for a single personal foul. 5 steals and no fouls is some kind of magic. I mean, because he was very handsy in there. But Caleb has to go to the basket.
What you guys are making me think? Hey, what you guys are making me think, which I appreciate. My mind, because as I'm counting the years, right? I told you guys before I was 39 last time we were at the Final Four in 2001. My mind is remembering those games. I thought we gave everything we had against Oklahoma in '88, came up short. Arkansas was, 94 feet or 92 feet of hell with Nolan Richardson, right?
Right.
But there were the Santa Claras too, right? So I have to remember that.
Danny, we appreciate your call, brother.
Hey, thank you guys much. I appreciate you.
All right.
Thanks,
See you Saturday.
Definitely.
Bear down.
Bear down. Let's get it on Saturday. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. We'll hear from Doug on the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day postgame show.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Good, Doug. How are you?
I'm all right. Great analysis the whole way. It's gotten to the point where I don't feel like I have to call in because you guys have covered all the bases, which is what you want out of a radio show. But I'll try to bring a little bit to the equation. I mean, it's a big missed opportunity. It's because especially as you look down the home stretch, we've got 4 just massively difficult games with Houston, Baylor, Iowa State, and Kansas, with 3 of those on the road, and maybe the best of them being the one home game. And so you look at this K-State game, and it's like, oh, yeah, let's keep the momentum going, and we'll stay tied with Houston, and maybe we can get a 1-game lead on Houston if we beat them. But, we still have everything on the table in front of us now. Yeah. If we can beat Houston, we're still tied with them, and we have the head-to-head advantage if it comes down to tiebreakers for, like the number 1 seed in the tournament, in the Big 12 tournament. So I'm not too despondent. Like you said, J-Dub talked about how, we didn't go through unscathed in the Pac-12 either. You'd always have a stinker against Oregon State or Stanford or Cal or whoever it was, and this was our Cal night, or our USC night where we just, nobody could hit, nobody could hit. And I was talking to somebody earlier today about, what do I like about this year's team, and I said the versatility of it, where it's almost impossible for everyone to play badly on the same night.
Right.
So I jinxed that. I jinxed it.
Yeah.
I mean, because I all season long you've seen where, like, oh, this guy's having, hey, Trey Townsend goes off for 21, or Carter Bryant goes 4 for 4 from 3, or Visar is just unstoppable on on both ends of the court, or whatever it is. And Bradley is his assist to turnover ratio is stellar, or Caleb is being Caleb, a good Caleb, But then tonight you get where it just seems like it was contagious, and you get those sometimes. It's really frustrating, but it's hard. You hope that fans won't just burn everything, like burn all the shirts, and tear the bumper stickers off the car, because it's all still in front of us.
Doug, I'll say this. I had us losing to Houston, and now I have to second guess that now since we lost this game. You hear me?
Right.
I had us losing that game because I was like, Houston is going to be so pumped up to win that game because Arizona is atop of the conference. But now I think Arizona has more reason to fight to keep themselves in that contention because they didn't get to 11-1 on accident.
Yeah.
They didn't get there on accident. And so I think that loss today is going to help galvanize these guys and pull them through a fist fight with Houston because they've been working up. Yeah. If we've been watching them play, if other people have been watching what I've been watching, they've been playing a physical defensive brand of basketball, even today. Today, because you look at it, Kansas State didn't have a good day either. They didn't have a good day either on that side, and I think both teams had something to do with it. Both teams had something to do with defending each other and making it tough on each other and just battling it out. But I really, truly believe that these guys losing this game And that trip back home, these guys are going to be talking, and some are going to come together, and Houston is going to see a whole different team than they probably would have saw if they would have won.
And just a little perspective, right? I mean, if you would have polled Arizona fans and said, 13 games in, you're undefeated at home and 5-2 on the road and finished sitting at 11-2 in this year's Big 12 Conference, I think preseason people would have been overjoyed with that. It's just that 4-5 start. People got, that bad taste. Can they put it together? They forget sometimes that they went 13 or 14, right? I mean, this team's been playing really, really well. But like you said, Doug, I mean, there is always going to be that USC around the corner when there's a terrible, terrible, terrible Trojan team. I'm trying to get DK to react, but he's not.
Right.
I mean, those games happen.
Yes.
Those games happen all the time. And, this was a game where, like you said, nobody on this roster had an exceptionally positive game, and they lost by 3 points, guys, on the road in a hostile environment.
That's what I was going to say. We missed 23 pointers, and we gave the ball away 17 times, and we had the game within 1 point at the very end. I mean, so we're definitely, I mean, and that's against a team that's one of the hotter teams in America right now. They just beat Iowa State by 19 in Ames, and then they came home and beat Kansas, and now they beat Arizona. So they're a good team. I wasn't overly impressed by K-State. Obviously, if they had been hitting threes, they would have been a lot more impressive. If we had been hitting threes, we would have been coasting, So those two things kind of cancel each other out.
It's pretty unorthodox.
The way I look at it is, well, go ahead.
I was just going to say, they're a fairly unorthodox team when you think about having a 6'2" combo guard, right? I mean, a lot of their stuff's inverted. A lot of their stuff is kind of awkward when you're looking at it because, like I said, they're hunting a lot of mismatches, but just the size and style of play without a necessary post up big, and they got a 6'10" shooting guard out there handling the ball most of the time. That's just an awkward roster, I think, in general. And that's it. I mean, they're just an awkward team.
And they also were really
face.
successful at getting some switches with McDaniel, taking it up on VSAR, for example. But the way I was just going to say, the way I look at it is we clearly stole that game against Iowa State.
Yeah.
You don't expect to hit a 60-footer.
No.
And so you kind of chalk this one balances that one out. Let's say that we had won this one, but didn't hit the magical shot against Iowa State.
Right.
We're still going to be sitting at 11-2 tonight, going into the Houston game with a chance to tie for first place, and we would have taken that. I also want to say that there were still some positives. I can, I'm always depressed after a loss, but I just want to point out a few positives. We did hold, was it Hawkins, right? The $2 million transfer from Illinois.
Yeah.
We held him down pretty darn well.
Is he getting that much money?
That's the highest paid transfer in the offseason.
I was like, how did Kansas State have that money?
That's what I'm saying.
And they had a few more transfers on their team. I was like, where they get that from?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if it's Alabama, I understand it, but Kansas State, that was surprising. But you never
Farm
know
money.
if you've got a booster.
Farm.
Well, yeah. But I was going to say, Awaka, it doesn't strike me as someone who would normally hit a lot of free throws, be good at the line, but I wanted to just praise him that he hit some really important free throws to keep us within, arm's length. So I was happy to see that. And then, KJ's defense, it just remains spectacular. There was one play that I'll bet you guys picked up on, but Henry got stuck switching over to the ball, and that left this other big guy completely all alone under the rim, and K-State just didn't pull the trigger fast enough to get it to him, but KJ covered that guy up. But instead, K-State threw it across the baseline to the guy in the corner, and KJ had time to go out and cover that guy. So he was just really reading the defense and being reactive to whatever K-State was trying to do. And so, defense will still travel. I guess the thing, I heard you guys talk about Del Orso's defense, and that's why he got pulled the rest of the game. I guess I just want to ask, and I'll wrap it up with this, but why are you bringing in a transfer like that if you're not going to let him play? Because it's a rare player that's a really good shooter and a really good defender. So you kind of just get the one maybe with him. Maybe you get the good shooting. But he was the only offensive spark to start this game, and then I felt like it killed our momentum to never bring him back in. So if you're not going to play him because he's a defensive liability, then why are you even bringing him in?
I think there's a couple of games he got pulled early, Duke game, this game in the second half, right? And both were similar in that those teams were hunting mismatches with they don't have an outrageously good offensive player at Kansas State, no disrespect to Doug McDaniel's game tonight, but he had it going, right? And Duke had a couple of guys going, and Kelvin, it did not take long for Coach Lloyd to pull Del Orso from that Duke game. Similar in the second half, he saw the one-time blow-by, and there's a trade-off there. Obviously, if you have a guy who's great on offense, a sieve on defense, or is not up to the standard of being able to stop somebody, then that trade-off, unless you're shooting 100% from the field, you're going to be giving up maybe more than you're.
And you got to remember who comes in for him. KJ Lewis.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's KJ Lewis. How long do you keep KJ Lewis on the bench when how can you look down the bench at KJ Lewis and Del also just got blown by?
You can't have all of it together. So you can't play both. Everybody's in the fan base is like, why don't you play Vesar and Awaka together? How come you're not playing Awaka and Vesar together? That's such a good lineup. That's great and all, but who's the three in that scenario? And you can't have Del Orso on the court if you don't have KJ, your glue guy, who's always going to finish games out. I think it's unfortunate when Del Orso gets pulled a minute and a half into the second half, because to me, a guy like that, he's got the length and size. The other caller said, why is he always behind and trailing? Well, number one, foot speed, but number two, his whole thing is coming from behind and blocking shots like LeBron. We've seen him do that 3 or 4 times this year. So if he gets a chance, he's going to try to be up on top behind the guy who's going to the basket. I just wish a guy like that could get Kelvin more time. This is maybe not the game for it. The games were the preseason games is the thing. And so it's like you wish a guy like that, because you're not going to ever advance your defensive skill set at this level, high level, unless you get reps in games defending quality players. So with the quick hook like that, the coaches know what he did wrong. He did something the coaching staff did not like. They pulled him.
And I'll say this. Let me add this one thing. The coaches understood that this was going to be a 1 or 2 or 3 game possession. And that'll get you beat, having a guy out there that just get beat directly off the dribble before you even can help. It just causes all kind of troubles and opens up other things. And as a coach, you just can't allow that, as far as, because you're telling the rest of your guys to stay in front, to play defense. And if you allow one guy not to hold that standard, what do you have?
Well, did the other guys do any better? I mean, he scored 24 points.
You look at, I ain't gonna, now, Doug. Now, I know you know your basketball and you know your sports. I think so. I mean, look at the score. I mean, there's only 70-point score. Then what was it?
I'm just talking about on McDaniel. I'm just saying McDaniel. No. He was still effective on.
It was on the switches.
No matter who covered him.
It was on the switches when he
when he got switched.
Yeah, he got switched. I thought we should double. I thought the guard, once, instead of switching, just double and force him to get it back out of his hands. But we never did. Every time he got a chance to get switched off onto one of our bigs, and that's where he put a lot of his work in. They just, as J-Dub was saying, and we've been mentioning, they were hunting mismatches, right? And when they didn't have Del Orso in the game, Conrad came in, they went right at him. And then when that wasn't there, they went right into a pick and roll with the pick and pop with Hawkins. You pop Hawkins and take him away from the basket. Now you got your help separated away, and now you one-on-one over there with your big. So I just thought somebody should have ran over there like what we see in the NBA a lot. You got
blitz,
you got to run over there and blitz that guy and force the ball out of his hands or force him to take a tougher shot. You can't let him get into his bag.
Right, because the other guys were checking up bricks. And I wanted to see Bradley, Love, and Lewis just spying that guy no matter where he went on the court. Yeah. All right. Well, in any event, main point was that we still got everything on the table in front of us, so we'll just come out Saturday and get right back on track.
Let's do that, Doug.
All right. Bear down. Thank you.
Appreciate you, brother.
Bear down.
Thank you as always. All right, let's get in another break. We'll go past 11 o'clock tonight. So a little bit more of an opportunity for you to get in. We do have Tommy Lloyd. We'll get to that as well. We still have to review our keys to the game. That will be coming up next. Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day, after a 73-70 loss for the Red Cats to the Purple Cats in Manhattan. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
For over 30 years, Tucson has been putting its trust in First Chiropractic for auto and on-the-job injuries. They're locally owned and a proud sponsor of the U of A radio broadcasts. So if you've been injured, make the right choice first.
First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
Do you often worry you left your garage door open? With the LiftMaster Garage Door Opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime from anywhere through the MyQ app. As an authorized LiftMaster dealer, we have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power is out. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit KaiserGarage.com to learn more.
At University Termite and Pest Control, we handle all your pest problems. Maybe a few family ones too.
Wait, you can even take care of my in-laws?
I always tell people we'll take care of anything, even in-laws. You just have to dig the hole.
Okay, but seriously, is it okay for our pets?
Absolutely. It's okay for pets, kids, anything you want to live, will live.
Call us today at University Termite and Pest Control. We'll squash those pests and enjoy it.
Stars are shining down on Goldberg and Osborne. The Eagle has more than 2,200 five-star Google reviews from across Arizona, like these.
They go that extra mile to let you know they care. A wonderful experience.
They treat their clients like family, and their professionalism is the best in the business.
They made sure I got a great offer. Like a bulldog, they fought for me.
Well said, everyone. After any accident, remember, the bird is the word. Visit Goldberg and Osborne at 1-800-THEEAGLE.com.
Driving the lane, dunking on the competition, and playing as a team. These are things we'll see this season watching our Wildcats play basketball. These happen to be the things you'll also find when you buy your next vehicle from O'Reilly Chevrolet. The only difference is at O'Reilly, nobody gets penalized for traveling. Heck, we actually encourage it. See us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or find new roads at O'Reilly.com, where you can experience our version of a steal. O'Reilly Chevrolet, more than a great price.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
JT Auto, where customers are family. Trust your vehicle to JT Auto professional and reliable automotive repair and maintenance services. JT Auto is conveniently located off Fort Lowell and Country Club. Open Monday through Friday. JT Auto is a full-service auto shop with satisfaction guaranteed, offering you the best in tires and wheels, auto repair, oil changes, computer diagnostics, suspension and brake service, and heating and AC. Bring your car to JT Auto, where customers are family. 623-7066. That's 623-7066.
If you have old windows, they are probably driving up your energy bills. Upgrade with new windows from the Window Depot. The Window Depot provides unbeatable value and a wide variety of in-stock and custom order windows to fit your style and budget. With our exclusive SI window brand, made right here in the USA, you'll get a full lifetime warranty, including glass replacement, for ultimate peace of mind. Order online at thewindowdepot.com or visit a location near you and start your project today. Experience the best prices, the biggest inventory, only at the Window Depot.
A Window Depot coverage of the Wildcats rolls on. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day postgame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain, Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
They get it down to Awaka, fumbled the ball, got it back, backing down, in traffic, turnaround shot is good. Boy, Awaka just had to be tough, and he was. He's got 6 second-half points now, and 8 in the ball game.
10 points for Toby Awaka. He was 3 for 5 from the field, 4 or 5 from the line, 10 points, 5 rebounds. He had an assist in 23 minutes for the Arizona Wildcats, but U of A loses 73-70 in Manhattan to the Kansas State Wildcats, who've now won 6 games in a row, and they climb above 500 in conference play. We'll have all your scores coming up in the final segment before we leave tonight. Let's, however, right now talk about what we thought the Wildcats needed to do to win this game tonight.
Wildcats fans, how did today's keys to the game turn out for the U of A? Keys are brought to you by Royal Automotive Group. Royal Automotive, the dealership that is different.
I believe we started with Kelvin first this evening.
I think we have to attack the paint. We've been doing a great job of that. I think we have to continue that. We shoot great at the free throw line. I think that gives us opportunities if we attack the paint and get Coleman Hawkins in foul trouble. I think he's the guy that does all their rebounding and a majority of their assists. If you can get him after game, it takes away a three-point threat and a guy that just brings so much to their team. Their leader, too. You said it yourself. Well, the leader who's doing all the talking. So if you can get him out the game, I think it'll hurt their team dramatically. Again, keep Coleman off the boards as well. I think that we need to, if we have to double him to keep him off the boards on the offense, I think that'd be huge for our team as well. And don't let Housen get going. As I said before, he only has 22 assists on the season out of 23 games. He's looking to score the ball. You have to be there on the catch. I think he's a guy that you have to guard, lock in, and don't leave him open because he could change this game.
So, Housen had both of his makes were twos. He's been consistent from that point. And, again, Hawkins really did not do much. We talked about at the top, just 2 for 11 in the ball game and only had 2 rebounds, so they were able to keep him off the boards. He had 3 fouls, but it was really Gusan and Max Jones that were the ones that got into some foul trouble for them.
Yeah, only thing I felt like we didn't check was we didn't attack the paint enough.
Yeah,
I mean, I felt like if we would attack the paint enough, Coleman was prone to get in foul trouble. You just had to go at him, and I just don't feel like we did it enough to give ourselves a chance to win this game.
Yeah, 46 paint points for Kansas State to 44 for Arizona. I think I went second. Well, yeah, and I'll say I think you got to keep these guards off the boards because these guards have been really rebounding a lot lately, and I think that's been one of the things that's kind of sparked them. I think when you talk about Doug McDaniel and Brendan Housen and Max Jones, they all had 4+ rebounds in the last game against Kansas. So keep those guards off of the glass is going to be, I think, really important for the Arizona Wildcats in terms of trying to win that rebounding battle for a 4th straight game and continue that trend. I believe we talked about it earlier in the show. They're +8 on the season. It is +8 on the season in terms of their opponents. So you want to win the battle of the glass and also keep those guards off the boards. That's going to be, I think, probably the number one thing for me tonight. And again, meet the environment. I think J-Dub talked about that last week. Who knows if it's going to be, it's obviously not going to be as raucous as it was on Saturday for Kansas, but it's still going to be a pretty raucous octagon of doom, as they like to call it. So meet the environment is going to be important, I think, for the Wildcats. Continue to take what the crowds are going to give them and be able to play through that. I think what's Tommy been saying, we've got to forget the term he's been using. We got to stay with our system, stay with our plan when you go into games like this. And I think the other thing for me, in terms of Arizona, is just to continue to defend at a high level, continue to deny those driving lanes, and really, really cut down on their ability to kick to those shooters, get inside and kick to outside shooters for those 3-point shots they're going to want to take. Well, Kansas State only had 9 assists in this game, but the 2 of those 3 guards did crash the boards. Max Jones had 7 rebounds. Doug McDaniel got 4, so they're continuing to get a lot of production on the rebounding end from their guards, even though the Wildcats still won the battle of the boards by double digits tonight, which is, I guess that's what it makes it more, maybe so disappointing is you look at a lot of the categories that Arizona wants to do well in, and they did well in a lot of those categories, maybe not the points in the paint, like you said, Kelvin, but they won the battle of the boards tonight. They just didn't get the win because they turned it over.
Are 4 points off turnovers.
Yeah.
Well, that's second half. The game box, they had 10 total points off turnovers.
10, yeah.
And 13 second chance points on their 13 offensive rebounds. So they did get a lot of offensive boards, but didn't necessarily turn those into buckets and did turn them Kansas State Wildcats over, but didn't necessarily turn that into easy offense.
That's because they kept throwing it back out and taking 3-point shots.
Can I take some of the listeners behind the curtain really quick?
Sure.
In case you're wondering why this next key you're going to hear is only 30 seconds long, it's because we were having connectivity issues with Manhattan at the time, and this was 5 minutes before we were about to go live to Brian Jeffries. So I spent this entire segment, I was actually dealing with problem solving, trying to make sure that Brian could get on the air. So that's why this is a little short and sweet.
Okay.
I think for me, it's pretty simple. I think, number one, you just got to take care of the ball. Obviously, on the road, no sloppy play, be strong with the ball. So I'd like to see less than 12 turnovers. Can't lose track of the shooters for Kansas State. Very efficient outside shooting team during this 5-game stretch, like we've talked about. I'd love to see less than 40%. Hands in face of shooters. Make sure you don't lose track of the guys with the green light. And thirdly, you guys both talked about it. You just got to dominate the glass. Continue to impose your will physically. Make sure that no matter what, you come out +5, +10 in this game. And those are my keys to getting a win in Manhattan tonight.
So they shot 66% twos in this ball game. I was like, dang, they missed all those threes and still shot 45%. That's because they were so good inside the arc tonight. And we did not take very good care of the basketball at all. 17 turnovers. All right, that's what we thought the Wildcats needed to do to win, and they didn't. 73-7.
Wildcats fans, that's a look at your keys to the game. They're brought to you by Royal Automotive Group. Royal Automotive, the dealership that is different.
14 steals in the game.
Your home for
Kansas
everything
State.
Arizona Wildcats. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290, KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station.
And with Kelvin Efon and JW Madden, I'm David Kelly. We are at the final stages of our show. It is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day after a 73-70 loss by the Arizona Wildcats to the Kansas State Wildcats. So the Wildcats' first trip to Manhattan since 1981 does not get them their first win there. They are now 0-6 playing basketball in Manhattan, Kansas. Kelvin Efon, final thoughts on this one before we adjourn to Houston on Saturday.
Tough loss, man. When you get out of there by 3, you had several chances to get it done, even though you had a bad day shooting from the perimeter. Your best offensive player didn't have a good day. But bright side is you're back home and you have a chance to still compete to be at the top of the conference. You're still going to be one of the top teams in the conference because you afforded yourself that from the hot start that you had. But it's all about beating the Houston type of team. I think these are the type of teams that Coach Lloyd built this team to beat. So I'm excited to see these guys play this weekend because this is the reason why we came to the Big 12.
There you go. There you go. Appreciate you, Kelvin. We'll talk to you on Saturday.
Yes, sir.
Bright and early in the morning, 8:30 is the call time on Saturday. All right, we'll get our final break in. We'll come back. We'll hear from the head coach. He was the only one present for Arizona in the postgame. We'll hear from Tommy Lloyd. And we got a few more texts to read. We'll read those as well as get you your scoreboard and then get on out of here. Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day on Wildcats Radio, 1290.
Accidents cause hassles as big as the Grand Canyon.
So we're hitting the road to spread the word about the bird.
The Eagle at Goldberg and Osborne.
Freeway fiasco in Flagstaff.
Hurt in Havasu?
Totaled in Tucson?
No worries. The Eagle has offices across the state. From Kingman
to Sierra Vista, where they fight hard to get you more.
So relax and ride on.
Because the bird is the word.
Visit Goldberg and Osborne at 1-800-THEEAGLE.com.
Day in and day out, we're inundated with commercials asking to review your portfolio or telling you to get a second opinion. This is Natalie Fernandez with Meridian Wealth Management, and I want to share the advice I give people every day. Talk to 3 different advisors at 3 different firms. It's important to understand their differences and find someone you can trust. I want Meridian to be one of your 3, and then you will decide who is best for you. To learn more, call us at 719-1433 today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Now that winter is really here, cooler overnight temperatures mean that your tire pressure warning light could be on. In most cases, you solve the problem by simply adding the correct amount of air to your tires. As always, you can stop by any of our 14 area Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care locations for a free tire inspection and air pressure check. And if you need help with that low pressure warning light, we fix those too. Check out jackfurriers.com. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care since 1960, here to get you there.
Don't hold back. just dive right in. This is Desert Diamond. The round-the-clock, off-the-charts, over-the-top spectacle that puts a shine on any day, anytime. The tables are hot to the touch. The slots are spinning winners every day. And the point spreads are yours for the taking. So go ahead, live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino. Visit ddcaz.com.
An enterprise of the Thana Autumn Nation.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' Cay. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. Visit Lennar's 2 communities in Rockin' Cay with home savings up to $25,000 and limited time interest rate and closing cost incentives on select move-in ready homes. LiveRockinCay.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Kia, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Kia, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus or RoyalKia.com.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
It's cold outside and you need safe, reliable heat for you and your family. For a limited time, Picturock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing is offering a free furnace with the purchase of a qualifying HVAC split system. For fast, reliable service, call Picturock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing at 520-492-0748 or picturockscooling.com.
Picturock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
If you're feeling overwhelmed by the thought of a home remodel, don't stress. The Window Depot is here to help. At the Window Depot, we're your one-stop warehouse for everything you need for your next remodel. Windows? Check. Doors? Got it. Cabinets, countertops, and everything in between? You'll find it all here at the lowest prices. Whether it's a kitchen, bathroom, or whole home makeover, our experienced designers are ready to bring your dream home to life, all at unbeatable prices. Find a location near you or shop online at thewindowdepot.com. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
A Window Depot coverage of the Wildcats rolls on. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day postgame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
Stops there, handed off to KJ Lewis. Squares for a 3. It's up and it's good. KJ Lewis with the second made 3 for Arizona. The third made 3 combined tonight. And that ties the game at 60. Not the guy you would expect to hit it, but why not?
Arizona falls to Kansas State 73-70, coming home to take on the Houston Cougars on Saturday at noon at McHale Center. James checks in on the text crew. Some of these sideline warriors get so worked up after a loss like tonight that they start huffing and puffing over the phone like lifelong smokers. I gotta say, I'm kind of tired of listening to some of these old dudes still living in Luteville trash-talking Tommy. He's a good coach. Let me remind them, this is our first year in an enormous conference that is one of the strongest in the NCAA, and we are in second place. These old dudes whose memories can only dredge up those 2 really good years under Lute forget that while he will always be a legend, Mr. Olson wasn't perfect. Give Tommy a chance. That's James. James, we appreciate you listening and your thoughts tonight.
I will say that, the squeaky wheel, right? So for every person who calls in disgruntled after every loss, there's definitely a select group of people who only call in after losses. You might notice that they don't call in after wins. That's the vast minority of the people who have an understanding of nuance. And secondly, Lute Olson had more than 2 good seasons. We'll put it that way. I love Coach.
They went to 25 straight.
Yeah, I love Coach Lloyd's style. I think a lot of people are very happy with his style. I think the inconsistency, and it's like this, like you wouldn't hear people complaining if they didn't believe that this team had the potential to be great, right? And that's the way you have to look at it. The more complaining after a loss like this is not because the team sucks. It's because the team is good and could be great when they put it together. Tonight was one of those nights, DK, where none of them really put together a complete game. Lost by 3 points on the road to a good Kansas State team. There's always next game. Tough conference. Quick turnaround from that game a couple of days ago, right? And all those factors together led to a loss. Hopefully they'll learn from their mistakes they made. There's a lot of correctable issues, especially with the turnovers. But as far as the overall fan base is concerned, I don't think anybody is upset. I don't think the vast majority of people are upset that Coach Lloyd has chosen to call Tucson his home and are very happy with what he's done here so far.
All right, let's hear from the head coach, Tommy Lloyd, after a 73-70 loss to Kansas State.
Well, he's talented. He's talented. He's got confidence. He's got courage. He made some big-time plays down the stretch and, hit some really tough shots, and he made them actually look really easy. So, he gets a ton of credit. I mean, he kind of, down the stretch of that game, hit kind of two floater bank shots off the right side, and he made them with ease. So those are big-time plays.
Tommy was talking about
they were handsy. There. They were handsy and they were aggressive, and we just didn't play strong enough with the ball. We had some problems early with that in the season, and I think we've done a good job addressing it. And we kind of reverted it a little bit, but Kansas State gets a lot of credit because they were the one making the plays. What do you make of this Kansas State team? I mean, hey, I think they're a little bit like us. Fighting for their season. And they were the little bit more desperate team today, and you could see that and feel that, and that's what good coaches do. Sometimes it doesn't go as easy as you want early. And you keep fighting. And, we've been through some adversity this year, and we fought our way through it. And by no means do I think that it's over. I know there's more adversity coming. So, as a coach, you want to hang with it. You want to help your team go through it and come out the other side. And I think Jerome's done a great job of that. I haven't went back and watched the film, and we just didn't play good. We didn't play smart. I thought we'd put ourselves in position. We got kind of a good break with a goaltending call they overturned, and then we were at the free throw line. Next thing I know, we're up 7, and we squandered it away. And you just can't do that on the road. I'm not saying you need to go up 13 at half, but it'd be nice to be in the game and not be down 6 at half. But to our guys' credit, they battled back, and we took a lead and down the stretch of the game. And I thought we were in a good position to win it, and we just had a few kind of unfortunate plays that happened kind of back to back to back, and then you're kind of scratching and clawing and fighting for your life. And again, we gave ourselves a chance, even to the last buzzer. So that's a credit to our guys, but we just didn't we didn't play good enough. We didn't play smart enough to win anywhere, especially on the road. I mean, yeah, you hope you make more for 2, just like I bet they hope they make more than 1. I can't tell you why, that happened. And I think both teams were, giving good effort defensively. And, it's just kind of one of those nights, where it didn't go in. But, I'm not going to sit here and dwell on it. I'm not a guy who thinks we got to the only way we win is if we make shots. Does it make it easier? For sure. But, that's to me, that's an excuse, that's too easy to use. There's so many ways to win basketball games, and if you're just, sitting there saying, well, it's on the players to make shots, make or miss, to me, that's a little too simplistic. Yeah, I don't know. He didn't play great. He didn't play great. We'll have to go back and look why. I thought he had some good opportunities. He just I thought he had a few of those threes, kind of towards the end of that game. The second half, I thought looked really good. So we're going to hang with it just like we always do and hope for a better outcome next time. Henry has the ball. They fall down. He's at 8 feet. He's got a great floater. Tobey's probably the best offensive rebounder in the country. Shoot it. And let Tobey tip dunk it. Instead, he throws it in there, and Kansas State has quick, athletic, quick twitch guys, and they go up and get their hands on it. It ends up being a broken play. That one kind of stands out to me because I think we had a 2-point lead on that one. I mean, you wish JB. It's not desperation. I mean, it's a play, but JB's got to throw a better pass. I mean, like he didn't throw a great pass. I mean, so, hey, I mean, listen, yeah. I mean, in hindsight, yeah, now I would have called something different. But like, I've also, we've worked on that play a lot, and it's something that we feel comfortable running in those situations. It was just kind of a little bit of an errant pass. I mean, it's a high risk play. You're down 3 with 6 seconds to go. A little bit of desperation, and you're probably, they call a timeout, so you're probably anticipating they're going to foul. So if you inbound the ball and dribble it up, they foul you. You have 3 seconds to go. You know what I mean? It's just, it's tough. It's tough. It's a tough decision you have to make as a coach, and apparently I didn't make the right one, or we didn't execute it well. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it'd be nice to have more in the first half. I mean, Tobey's playing so well right now. It would be nice because he obviously, you see how he impacted the game in the second half. Love it. Let's move on. I mean, I love the competition. Love how every night's hard. I'm never a guy that's asked for things easy, so bring it on. I can't wait. It was an awesome atmosphere. Can't wait to come back here and play again. I mean, listen, Bruce, I'm coaching to win every game, but I'm not dumb. I'm not naive. I know it's hard, and I know your opponents try really hard too, and I know it's really, really hard to win on the road in college basketball. So, I'm not being a Pollyanna or anything like that. I knew I knew this was going to be a hard game today, and I knew, that we would be fortunate to get out of here with a win. That was how we approached it, and we prepared to win the game. We just came up short. I mean, those are hard shots. I mean, you're usually living with mid-range twos. I'll have to go back and look at them. You know what I mean? Could we have contested it better? Could we have stayed and did a rear view contest? Should we have switched up a little harder? I mean, I'll have to go back and see the exact plays. But, I mean, those were big-time shots by him.
Let's take a look at what happened around the rest of the country. The College Basketball Scoreboard is brought to you by Goldberg and Osborne. Goldberg and Osborne, the injury lawyers.
All right. That was the head coach, Tommy Lloyd, after a 73-70 Arizona loss to Kansas State. Number 10, Iowa State wins at Central Florida, 77-65. So the Cyclones are 9-4 now in the Big 12. 17th ranked Kansas knocks off Colorado 71-59. The Buffaloes are 0-13 in the Big 12. Kansas 8-5. Cincinnati gets a win at home over Utah 85-75. Both those teams are 5-8. And it was BYU knocking off West Virginia down in Morgantown 73-69. So the Cougars are not broken like we initially thought. They get a win despite losing last week to Arizona.
That Denman guy I saw was up to like 3 in the mock drafts.
Yeah.
Top 3 draft pick.
Wow.
The freshman.
Yeah. That's pretty good. Creighton loses to UConn at home, 70-66. Creighton number 24 in the country, but they still have a game and a half lead over the Huskies in the Big East. Number 11, Michigan State falls at home to Indiana.
Yeah, that was a game where Izzo was attempting. He's in a tie. His last win tied Coach Knight for the most all-time Big Ten wins ever for a coach. So this was to break the tie and go into first place by himself. But Umar Bala had something to say about that.
14 points and 10 rebounds in that ball game for one Umar Balo. Number 8, Texas A&M 69, Georgia 53. Second-ranked Alabama 103. Texas 80 as the Crimson Tide went on the road. 18th ranked Marquette takes down DePaul 68-58. DePaul still bad. 2-12 in the Big East. Michigan rallies at home to take down number 7 Purdue 75-73. So the Wolverines are 11-2. Purdue falls to 11-3 in the Big Ten. Number 15 Kentucky upsets number 5 Tennessee in the SEC at home, 75-64. It was Florida over Mississippi State on the road, 81-68. The Gators are number 3 in the country. Number 1 Auburn wins at Vanderbilt, 80-68. Those are your scores on the top 25 scoreboard. I will give you one additional score from the Big Ten, since the Big Ten plays, I guess, now on Tuesday nights as well. It was Illinois over UCLA, 83-78. Kylan Boswell had 11 points in that ball game for the Illini. They are 9-6. UCLA is 9-5 in the Big Ten Conference. So that is your scoreboard.
I have one
today.
scoreboard highlight for you. Ready?
Oh, one scoreboard highlight, please.
And Durant can join the group in the 30,000 club here. Sitting on 25 tonight. Through the first 3 quarters, given 26 and 30K for Durant.
So only 8 players, DK, in NBA history have scored more than 30,000.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant joined that club tonight with that free throw.
Suns, though, lose at home to the Memphis Grizzlies, 119-112, and they slide back under 500 on the season. That is your scoreboard.
The College Basketball Scoreboard is brought to you by Goldberg and Osborne. Goldberg and Osborne, the injury lawyers.
73-70 was the final. Arizona loses, I should say, to Kansas State on the road. We'll just give you a couple more things here real quick. Pima Baseball, they split their games today with Chandler Gilbert, losing 14-12 and winning 9-6. So shout out to those folks up on West Anklam Road as both the girls and the boys played up there today. The ladies took 2 from South Mountain up on West Anklam Road today. We'll be back with you on Saturday at 8:30 a.m. for Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Noon tip-off, the big matchup between Arizona and Houston. So with the loss now, the Houston Cougars stand atop alone in the Big 12. They are 12-1 overall. Arizona is 11-2 in second place in the conference. Followed is Texas Tech at 9-3, Iowa State at 9-4, Kansas is 8-5. That is what you've got going into. I think actually there are games tomorrow in the conference. So we'll see some more action or some more movement before we get to the weekend in that respect. Final thoughts, J-Dub, on this one?
Well, I mean, I think there's a lot of people frustrated because it was a game that Arizona could have won. But I'm not as frustrated by this as I was with the Wisconsin game or the Duke game or the Oklahoma game or even the West Virginia game, right? Or the UCLA game was probably the worst of them all, where they went 13 minutes without a field goal made. Their offense was sputtering a little bit tonight, but there's so many correctable mistakes, throwing the ball around a bit. I think that this is a game they learn from a lot, DK. And, they're going to be hungry. Like Kelvin said, he thought maybe Saturday Houston might be a little too tough. But with this loss, now that Arizona is one game behind the Cougars, they really do need to get a win if they still want to maintain a chance to win the conference title in their first year. So, it's just one of those games you wish that both teams shot a little better. You wish both teams didn't throw the ball all over the court. It wasn't the prettiest game of all time. But tip your cap to the Kansas State Wildcats. They made plays down the stretch, won that game, and get them next time.
The games on the schedule for tomorrow, TCU will host Oklahoma State, and number 12 Texas Tech will be at home in Lubbock against Arizona State. Don't forget Arizona women's basketball will be in action tomorrow. They are on the road as well. The ladies will be in Stillwater to take on Oklahoma State. That is a 5:30 tip-off with coverage beginning at 5:15 on KTUC AM 1400. Like to thank everybody that was a part of these broadcasts tonight. Dusty Dale spun the dials over on the FM side, K-Hit 107.5. David Dragon Ball Amata here on the AM side, Wildcats Radio 1290. For my broadcast partners, Kelvin Efon and J.W. Madden will give you that final score one more time from Manhattan, Kansas, in front of 8,914. It was Kansas State 73, number 13 Arizona 70. We'll talk to you tomorrow, DK on the Sports Tip at 3 o'clock. Until that time, have a great rest of your Tuesday evening, a great start to your Wednesday, and bear down, Arizona.
Bear down, Wildcat Nation. You've been listening to our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball. The Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day post-game show has been brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. Join us right here on Game Day for complete coverage of Arizona basketball. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the